Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.
GTRC, Gran Turismo Racing Community. Check, check. Can we hear chat? Can we hear me? Oh, what is going on here? Why is it not detecting my microphone, chat? Love the commentary. I can't catch many races during the day, but I've been watching sections of the replay. Super fun. Keep it up, Tim, and organizers and teams. Hey, appreciate you, Tim. Appreciate you, Bipolar, my man. Love what you're doing out there as well. Let me know how I'm sounding, chat. I don't know what source my microphone is actually coming through currently. Because my software is being silly. So please do let me know how the sound is from my end. It would be greatly appreciated. My software is being funny. All right, everybody. So sounds good on Facebook. Appreciate you, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ghost here. You can see rocking some new swag. Oh yeah, all right, merch available on my website, ladies and gentlemen, pinned in the comments on the Facebook page below. Want to go see what the lineup looks like? Go check it out. I've ordered a bunch myself. Fantastic. It's very good quality stuff. I'm very happy with it. Hats need an adjustment, but hey, everything's looking good, everybody. So welcome in. This is big, chat. This is big. We've been talking about this all year on my page, leading up and hyping up for everybody. It's finally here. Big news for the GTRC, the Gran Turismo Racing community, ladies and gentlemen. GT45 Gaming and Apex Racing Team have both stepped in as an official sponsor of the series. So not only are we bringing it live to everybody on screen that you guys can see here week in and week out from the GTRC, we've stepped it up. We're going to add a prize pool for the drivers, and we're really excited about it here at GT45 Gaming and Apex Racing Team to be a part of this amazing community. We know these guys put on some amazing races, so let's dive in to the details of the series, shall we? All right, this is a GT4 Series Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Every driver is in a different GT4 car. Now, front-wheel drives and all-wheel drives and four-wheel drives have been absolutely forbidden for the series. So what does that leave us? It leaves us rear engine cars. So our front engine rear wheel drive cars are allowed, and our mid engine rear wheel drive cars are allowed. So every driver is in a different car. Now, we have 2 splits. So this is live right now on 2 different channels, ladies and gentlemen. We're live here for the Pro Split, which is going to be done by myself, GT45 Gaming, and on Nolander Gaming over on Facebook right now, he is live rolling out the Pro-Am Split for the GTRC. So we have a 2-split lobby. Now, this is complicated. Stay with me, chat. All right, so these drivers are racing for a solo championship all on their own in their respective divisions and their classes. So the top 3 drivers will be getting rewards and prizes from myself and, of course, Apex Racing Team as sponsors for their finish in the solo championship. However, the driver in the Pro-Am lobby that is driving the same car is the teammate of that pro driver with the other car. Those 2 combined are accumulating points towards A, a team championship, and B, a manufacturer's title as well, ladies and gentlemen. So there is tons on the line. Lots to think about. Lots of strategies are going to have to be needed here today. We have 3 times fuel and 4 times tire wear in the series, ladies and gentlemen. These are going to be a 1-hour endurance race. And today, we're at the ever so unforgiving track at Suzuka. We all know you love it or you hate it, chat. And it's going to be a mixed bag, I think, here today. It is a beautiful racetrack when you get it right. You get a big smile on your face. You're feeling the rhythm. And then you make a mistake. And it makes you pay the ultimate price, and that price usually results in a spin and some damage. Now, with that being said, the damage model is on light in the series, so these guys only are going to suffer for about 30 seconds time that it takes to of course lose that damage around the racetrack, and then they are back on it. So that is the way it is all breaking down here, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a 10-minute qualifier as well. Medium tires are the only allowed tires here, ladies and gentlemen, for the series this week as well, this season, except for the 190-minute race that we're going to see mid-season. And we're not going to tell you what race that is yet, but it's going to be a doozy. It is going to be a doozy. Now, the races do start on a very specific time of day as far as the weather goes, but the weather is completely random, so we can see rain here today. This is Suzuka. I was in a lobby last night with some of the drivers, and it was raining on track. So the potential for massive strategy change on the fly is going to be there 100% here today, with the potential of rain lingering in the mind of these drivers. Now, we have a lot to go over, chat, so I want to jump on. I want to introduce you to our pro division lobby. We have our first woman competitor in the GTRC community competing in the GT4 series here as well, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, we are excited about that. We know that there is just some blazing fast ladies out there in the sim racing world, and it is finally nice to see one come and compete here in one of our leagues. We're absolutely thrilled to see her on board, and I gotta tell you, chat, she's a contender. She is a very good race car driver, and I mean, we'll let the race speak for itself, of course. This is a very top level lineup of drivers here today, so let's jump on track and let's go over our drivers. You guys ready to see what's going down here today? Because I know I am. I have been excited for this for a long time. The page has been very, very excited about stepping in a bigger role to help the league grow and, of course, progress moving through the future. So much love to everybody, and I just hope everybody enjoys this today. Let's flip it. Let's flip it. All right, chat, so here we go. A little bit of a different look. I want to give a huge shout out to High Pre Graphics as well, ladies and gentlemen. This guy seriously is a legend. Everything he does here for us at GT45 Gaming to make our broadcast look so much better for everybody. A huge love to High Pre Graphics. If you guys are interested in something like this, especially for all those leagues out there watching right now, other commentators and broadcasters, seriously, man, this is the next level for your broadcasting. High Pre does an amazing job. Hit me up in the comments, hit me up privately through the page's socials if you want to get contact with this amazing graphic designer and his team, and I'll hook you up with this gentleman and let you guys have a chit chat. But seriously, huge love to High Pre Graphics for everything he does here for us all season long. Absolutely great stuff. All right, so let's go through our lineup, chat. We got Apex Racing's Piggums. We all know Piggums. Piggums is returning driver here this season. He came in midway through the season last season and decides he wants to step in full time this season and put some pressure on these guys and see if he can come out with the championship. We have Hair Razor, one of our administration staff here at the GTRC, again returning and also a contender here. So this guy's quick too, and he's a very smart, conscious driver. We have GR Ibra here, again very smooth, calculated driver. This guy is quick. He was fighting for those podiums all last season in the championship last season. So they're all, I can't tell you who's going to win this race today. We have Apex Racing's Tattooed Freak on track here as well, and you can see they're all in different cars here. We'll go through that too as we go through the broadcast. And he's here, of course, in that Jaguar here today. We have THG's Method on track as well, and we've been honored to be in the same lobby as this guy in another division here, in another racing league that we work with. And this guy is quick too. So this is a very stacked lobby here today. We have Sikkim here, who we seen last week in the BMW series with the big time win. So we know this driver is quick. A little bit of lag coming from this driver here today, though. We've got Oliver Smalley here, and he's in that McLaren there, and he is going to be partnered up with Chip Reese in the Pro-Am division as well. And I could bring that roster up at some point here for you guys, and we can break down who the teams are as well. So Oliver Smalley, this guy's quick too. I mean, all these drivers are quick. We have Petrolhead here. We haven't seen a lot of Petrolhead here so far in GTRC, but he has been around a long time, and he is a very, very quick driver. And our first woman contender here to this series this year, ladies and gentlemen, is Miss Devious. And she's quick. She's quick. She's a smart girl. She's a smart driver. And I think she's going to put a lot of pressure on this field here. So it's going to be really exciting to see how she does here in her first race. So welcome into Miss Devious to GTRC and all our new faces. We have Mike 1972 here as well. He's a returning driver. We know he's quick. We have Bufu Shadara. This guy is the two-time defending champion in the big championship series, ladies and gentlemen. He's the man to beat. He's the man with the massive target on the back of his car. He absolutely came back from behind a couple of disconnects in the last year's season and still managed to come from in behind and pick up that championship for himself. So this is two-time defending champion here in the big series, ladies and gentlemen, Bufu Shadara. And I mean, at the end of the day, obviously this is the one guy that we definitely have to look out for the most. Let's go over some alerts here, guys and gals. What do we got here? We've got Julio coming in with the follow. Welcome to the community. Much love, my man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for supporting us in a deeper way. We appreciate it. We've got, we have just got a gaggle of them here. We have Abba Idris with the follow as well. We also have Wasik Khan with the follow as well. We've got Babar Alarma Babar with the follow. We've got Joe Mercier with the like. Abong Gong coming in with that like as well. Much love, everybody. Welcome in. Bob Cross coming in with that 50 stars. Let's get our hashtag Bob up in the chats. Absolute legend. Paul coming in with that heart on the stream. Pete with the share and the like as well, and Tim Connolly coming in with that like. Welcome everybody over on the YouTube channels as well. We know you're out there. We see you. We love you. Thanks for coming in. Let's go Method. Hey, look at that. The THG fans are already in the house. That is what we're talking about. That's what we love to see. All right. So we've seen the lineup, guys and gals. What are we thinking? Oh, we just had another driver come in. Who was it? Who haven't we seen on? Right, Doug Barrow, ladies and gentlemen. Again, another crucial member of the administration staff here at the GTRC, and he's quick. He's always a contender. He's always fighting at the front of that pack when he can, but he's definitely got his work cut out for him here this season. So it looks like we're missing a couple of our drivers here today, but there's still time. We have about ETA of 2 minutes before we start qualifying here, and that is if everything's on schedule. So again, the Pro-Am division, ladies and gentlemen, is also being broadcast right beside this lobby over at Nolander Gaming on Facebook. So if you guys want to check out both races, head over to Nolander Gaming on Facebook and definitely go show him some love. Say hi from GT45 Gaming. We're excited to have him on board here at the team, and he's going to knock out an absolutely great Pro-Am division for everybody here tonight as well. So it's going to be fun. Jesse coming in with that thumbs up. We got Belvoir Winery in coming in with that thumbs up as well. Appreciate that double like, Jesse, my guy. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while, my man. If I've missed any alerts, I apologize. You guys are lighting it up tonight. They're just flying by like crazy. Whew, all right. We're almost getting ready for race time here. There we go. So the host has asked the guys to ready up. We are going to start qualifying, and already you can see the weather on track is getting a little bit dicey. It's getting a little bit dicey out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting very dark. It's very gray. It's very gloomy. We may even see rain in qualifying, and boy, isn't that going to change things up. So remember, we did say that the racing medium tires are the required tire here for the series. Now, that is the case. But, however, if in the case of rain, they are allowed to obviously switch that up and go on to either a wet or intermediate tire. And there we go. We're going to start qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes these guys get to put in the best time they can, and it's race time here at the GTRC. So welcome in. Round 1 Suzuka here, the GT4 Championship Series. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Family-friendly broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, so definitely don't hesitate to let the kiddies watch. We absolutely encourage it and hope everybody enjoys the race today. Let me get some information up for everybody, lose a little extra visual distractions, and let's go qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So it is going to be Hair Raiser out first on track here. It looks like he's going to lead the way here, and the rest of the group is just going to come out in behind. We have CFR here on track as well. We didn't see him in the scroll through the lineup either. So Hair Raiser is in that GR4 Mustang here, ladies and gentlemen. So Team Mustang leading out the way here at our Pro Division today. So we're definitely missing 2 drivers here. We do have a full grid, and we do have a couple of substitute drivers. Unfortunately, weren't able to get it all to work out here today for that full grid. But 13 drivers, top split drivers, going to be making for a great race, especially at Suzuka. This is going to be a battle. It's a battle of each other. It's also a battle of the racetrack here today. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's a toughie. And huge love too. I just want to give an extra big shout out to the volunteers and everybody behind the scenes here at the Gran Turismo racing community. The work that they've put in to get this season off the ground, some last minute changes, some last minute big changes coming in, and you know, the guys had to get everything sorted out by race day, and they did a fantastic job, and here we are. So I've been looking forward to this for about 3 months since I announced my sponsorship with these guys, and here it is. We're finally here, so I can't wait. I can't wait. Alrighty, so as you can see, we got that lovely banner there. You guys aren't going to be able to really see what's going on here as far as tires and fuel and all that goes, but they are on the medium tires. Fuel and tire wear is on in qualifying. The settings are the same as the racing conditions. Pro Split to Pro Am Split, there are 0 changes in the lobby. So really the only difference that's going to factor between the Pro and the Pro Am Split race really essentially is that weather random factor. Everything else is the same here. They have the same assists allowed, the same settings, the same fuel, the same tire, and they're all driving the same group of cars on the same racetrack. So it's going to be a fun series. I really can't wait to see this settle in and really watch these battles progress. So Doug very quickly is catching up to the driver up in front there, which I believe is Hair Raiser, and he's in Lexus. So Doug Barrow has opted to go with the Lexus, ladies and gentlemen. So interesting choice here from Doug, but Doug does always like to challenge himself in series and take cars that aren't often picked by other drivers. So much love, of course, respect to Doug for that. I mean, what else can we say? What else can we say? All right, we're just checking on all the metrics. Everything's looking fantastic today. It's fantastic. We didn't test the new overlay when we built it, so we're kind of testing it on the fly. So please don't hesitate to let us know if something needs to be tweaked, please. Ladies and gentlemen out there in the chat, we do appreciate it. Who do you guys think's got the race win today? I mean, we've seen the lobby. It's heavy. Who do you think has the best chances here today? We've already seen some Method fans. We definitely know we got the Apex fans up in the house. We've seen them pop in real early. Who do you got for the race win today? Could be anybody's game. We're going to stick with Hair Raiser here as he comes around this first hot lap. Obviously, we should, on the quick end of times, we should be seeing some 210s. I mean, really, we should be seeing 210s or lower from this lobby when these guys are at full speed around the racetrack here, or faster. That's just a little bit of a marker of what we should expect to see here on the medium tires today. So got a little bit of information for this race. This is one of my babies, so we try to stay really well in tune with what's going on here. And yeah, rock and roll. So it's going to be an interesting race. We got lots of new faces in the series, and that means that drivers are not quite familiar with each other's driver's styles now, as we've seen in previous seasons. So it's going to be a great season. There's a lot of new factors and a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of question marks up in the air. We don't know who's going to be the big contenders at the end of the season, because honestly, this lobby is really, really tight. We did live qualifying about 3.5-4 weeks ago now for that, and the qualifying times were within hundreds of seconds between the drivers in this Pro Split lobby. So it is going to be a tight division. Basically, the drivers' consistency and not making mistakes is really going to be key in the Pro Split here for these guys trying to pick up a win. Every little miscue is going to cost you position, I think, in this lobby here this season. I'm only speculating based off of what I've seen throughout practices and so far this season. And we have a driver that has had an issue, so he will have time to get back into the lobby here. And we do have restart procedures in place as well. I mean, again, we do understand the game is not perfect right now, so everybody does have, of course, those extra things in place for that. So you can see these guys are all just in a slipstream, and you can see all that whole slipstream train kept taking pole position on each other. So currently, it's Petrolhead in pole position with a 211.252. We've got Ebra just behind with a 595. We got Sikkim with a 212. Pagum's going up into P3 there. Tattooed Freak dropping down to P5. CFR's in 6th here. We've got Bufu Shadara in 7th. We've got Doug in 8th. We've got Mike in 9th. We've got Oliver currently sitting in 10th. We've got Hairraiser in 11th. And, is Miss Devious went up into 10th here. So there we go, shot at Miss Devious, ladies and gentlemen, our first woman competitor here to GTRCs in the big series. Absolutely fantastic to see her here, and she's quick. She really is quick. This is a tough lobby, though. Again, I don't know who's going to win here tonight. Again, it's going to come down to really good consistency, great pace, and not making a mistake, I think, tonight. So Petrolhead still holding pole position. Had a little bit of contact here, or a mistake made by one of the two drivers there. We just missed what happened there. Unfortunately, we don't have that live replay feature yet. Please, let's get some live replays going back, PD. I missed my live replays. Pagum's here again, jumping up into P3 here, 211.751. So you can see his close. He's quite purple here right now as well. Sikkim here in P4. You can see the time split difference isn't much. 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 3 tenths, almost less than 100th here. 6 100ths, again half a second there, but that's going to change. This is going to tighten up here. This is only one of probably about 4 laps we'll see here for qualifying today. So these boys are underway, and they are looking feisty on track. We got that Sylvia here leading the charge, though. So Nissan looking very strong early on. We got a driver going a little bit wide there. We've seen a little bit of a sandmark. That was the driver in the McLaren there. So going to get not the great exit there. All right. So we're just keeping our eye on this here. We got Ebra, we got Petrol, we got Ebra. These guys are all kind of coming around our second through about 6th place here, coming up to the start-finish line on lap 2. So let's see what they do here. Bufu Shadara moving up into pole position. Ebra moves up into 2nd. Doug coming through. He's going to stay in 5th. Petrol is now in 4th. Ebra's in 3rd. Bufu Shadara is in 2nd. Sikkim goes into P1. Wow, Pigham's dropping down to 6th. Tattooed 7th. CBFR now in 8th. Where is Mike? Mike's in 9th. Misdevious in 10th. Oliver in 11th. Hairraiser in 12th. And Method will start on the backside of the pack here too. He will be allowed to get back into the room, of course, before the race starts. So there is a starting procedure in place for that. Those guys will sort it out, of course, because that's what they do. These guys are awesome. And it's going to be Pigham's up into P2 here now. So you can see these guys are starting to move. We got, what's that time at? We don't know what his time is at. It's a 2:08.964. So he hooked a lap up there, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, that was quick. Pigham's with a 2:09.5. Boo with a 2:10.3. Ebra with a 2:10.9. 2:11.2. 2:11.3, so it is starting to tighten up here, especially in the top half of our qualifying field. Sikkim is happy with his time. He doesn't think anybody's going to challenge that, so he's already parked that thing in the pits. He's just going to go with it. What do we got left? We got about 2 minutes remaining here, so we're going to see with this lap and probably one more lap for qualifying from these guys. So let's just keep our eye on the drivers nearest the finish line here. And you can just see it's just a line of cars here. These guys utilizing that slipstream to their advantage. Penalty for Hairraiser, so not ideal for him. And it is Pigham's coming around here. Now you can see the weather's changing on track here. This might affect qualifying a little bit as well. You know, it's the weather's been changing all through qualifying here so far today. So anything's going to happen in this race. I really don't know what to expect. I've seen all sorts of different variations of weather come out of this track throughout practice throughout the week. So I think we're going to see some interesting endeavors here. I think that's Bufu Shadara I see just coming up here in Ferrari. So let's see what he can do in that Ferrari. Oh, it sounds so good, doesn't it, chat? He's going to put him up into second. So he's going to knock Piggums down a spot here. Eber's going to sit in fourth. Hairraiser moves up into fifth. Petrolhead dropped down to sixth. Doug does not improve any there. Tattoo Freak, he improves but doesn't move up any spots. Mike is in ninth. CFR's in 10th. CFR moving up into fifth there, coming across the start-finish line. Bumping everybody down. Mike's in 10th. Oliver's in 11th. Miss Devious bumped into P12 here now. So she is quick. Don't let you don't let me fool you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's different cars on the track too, so some cars are going to be very strong here, some cars are not going to be as strong here, so I mean, that is going to play a factor in throughout the series as well, how these drivers practice, how the teams practice together, all those things. Miss Devious coming in with a 211 flat there, moving her up into P7 as well. So she finally getting that down. Now, again, some of these drivers could be playing coy and saving it for their very last lap, trying to empty the fuel out in that car, make the car as absolutely light as possible, save as much tire as possible, and just give it that one all-shot push for your ultimate best right at the end. We could be seeing that from some of these drivers. Some great looking liveries on track, and we're definitely going to get a closer look at some of these liveries as the race progresses today here as well. We have plenty of time to get down to that. So Petrolhead's going to put it in pit lane, and you can see a lot of these drivers have already finished their laps. You got a couple of the Apex boys sitting on the apron here, so that is what happens. They just park it on the end of turn 1 there, and then the host will, I believe, give them a little space of time. Bar is the host of the Pro-Am lobby. He didn't actually make Pro Split, Jake. So Bar is in that Pro-Am split over at Nolander. Let's go Piggums and Freak. Hey, Stefan coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. I'm just going to go over and check our YouTube channels. We see you guys out there and you gals out there. We got 4 viewers over on the GTR YouTube. Much love and appreciation. And before we kick this thing off officially, ladies and gentlemen, if you could all do me a favor, make sure you hit that like and that share button no matter which platform it is you're watching. That's just a couple free things you can do to help us grow. It helps push it over to more people to come in and watch what we're doing here at the GTRC Gran Turismo racing community. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this series is sponsored by GT45 Gaming and Apex Racing, and I'm your host for the evening. GT45 Gaming, our other amazing broadcaster, Nolander Gaming, over on Facebook, is doing the Pro-Am lobby. They are qualifying right now as well, so it is going to be almost race time. But now what we have to do is we have to allow Method to get back into the lobby, so he can get involved in the race, but that means he's going to have to start at the back of the pack. So it's super unfortunate for Method that he dropped out right at the beginning of qualifying, but that is, of course, the rule in place. Miss Devious improving her time a little bit there as well. So Sikkim is sitting in pole position and will be followed by Bufu Shadara, Apex Racing's Piggums, GR Ibra, Mike 1972, Hairraiser in 6th, Oliver Smalley in 7th. We've got CFR here in 8th, Miss Devious in 9th, Doug in 10th, Petrol in 11th, and Tattooed Freak in 12th. They are sitting in pits. That could change once, of course, we do hit the lineup, but we do have to wait for our boy Method to get back into the lobby. So Corey coming in, go Method. Hey, Michael Upton coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. And hey, you guys enjoying the racing out there? Ladies, gentlemen, kids, everybody having fun out there? We're going to see a great race here tonight. This is a very family-based community here at the GTRC. It's why we absolutely love working with this community here at GT45 Gaming and Apex Racing. So, you know, if you love the content, you want to see more of this GT4 series and the mini championship series that the GTRC community is providing, hit that follow or that sub button there on the pages, and hit the little bell, turn on all your live notifications. And what that does, ladies and gentlemen, is every time we go live, you'll get a notification that we're live, and you never ever miss another race. So if that is what you want to do, again, another free thing you can do to help the pages grow. We do appreciate it. All those follows coming in on the Facebook page earlier today did push us over that 600 follower mark on the Facebook page, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are absolutely legend. The page is growing very quickly here. Clearly you guys love seeing these races, so we're going to keep bringing them to you as high energy and as best as we can for everybody, so please do enjoy our race. So we're just letting everybody dial in here. Not sure if Method is ready to come back in yet. Now these guys are all in the chat. You know, everything's kind of yeah, everything's happening behind the scenes. So we'll give it his time. We'll do what we do. We'll just sit tight here and hang out with you guys, the community. And I mean, you guys see qualifying there. Yeah, that qualifying board is bouncing around everywhere. So let's go take a look at that actually on the right hand side of the screen here. You can see Sikkim here with a 208.964, the only driver to hit 208 in qualifying, followed very closely behind by Bu Fushidara, 0.5 of a second behind. The 10th behind him is Pigums, and less than 4/100ths behind is Ibra, and then we have 2/10 is Mike. We have another 2.5 is Hair Razor, and then Smalley, CFR, Miss Devious is nipping right there behind. Doug is right there behind Miss Devious, 4/100ths of a second, ladies and gentlemen. Petrolhead there, just a couple tenths behind, and it looks like we have a couple of drivers here needing to reset. So just wait for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to allow this to go over. We could see a potential lobby reset. We've been struggling with this prior to the races as well. So again, Gran Turismo 7 has it's a fairly new game, and they're still working out bugs and kinks in the game. And I think that unfortunately for us PlayStation 4 users, i.e. myself here at GT45 Gaming, the systems are just struggling to run what is available with Gran Turismo 7, and I think that that's starting to put the strain not only on the servers but our PlayStation 4 systems as well. So I mean, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, what I've concluded based off of community science, we like to call it, taking the hit, buying that PlayStation 5, and some of our drivers that have been suffering from some of these bigger glitches immediately no longer have the issue with the PlayStation 5. So the connection thing is still an issue all the way around. That's a server issue. But as far as just struggling to play the game, GT7 is just a little too advanced, I think, for our PlayStation 4 systems. So I think eventually that's really, once everybody starts to make that upgrade, now that it's becoming more available, of course, I think that, of course, that's when the game will start to see massive improvement, because we're going to have just a larger majority on the new generation console, and that is what the game is designed for originally. So we just work with it as a league and as racers. We have to put on our patient pants, and we have workarounds and solutions to every little issue that we run into, and then we rock and roll. So that's all we're doing right now. We're just letting we're letting a couple of these drivers just get reconnected here and get resituated in. So basically the way this works, ladies and gentlemen, if they are racing and there is a disconnect during the race, that driver will still receive points for that race. So depending on, of course, how many drivers are on the grid, he will get that last furthest down placement for points, unless something else has happened to another driver that's caused them to have to park the car or put it behind pit wall. Then of course he'll get the next position above, depending on when that disconnect does happen. So the drivers still do get points for coming in here and starting the race. So I mean, they're not penalized for the internet or just the nature of the way the game is. So the league obviously understands that from the drivers, and so yeah, if it does happen, it sucks. It absolutely sucks, but at least the drivers are still getting some points on that. So these guys are just resetting. I know what's going down, so we're just chilling. We're just waiting. It's been an interesting day already today. Everything still sounding good, chat? Let me know. Let me know. I will watch it back later. Hey, what's going on? Good evening, Paul. How you doing? Yeah, Jake coming in with that heart as well on the stream. Much love, everybody. So moving forward in the future here too as well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be building some combination merch and dice available through the GT45 Gaming website and the Apex Racing website as well. Both the sponsors are going to come up with a combination merch line for the GTRC community. It'll have some of their stuff on there, and it will be available for sale relatively soon this season. So we will keep everybody posted on that when that GTRC league specific merch is and has become available for everybody to go and check out as well. And that's just to show some love for these guys, and yeah, well, put a little money in the bank for them never hurts either, chat. I cannot attend today due to connection issues I've had ever since last update. All right, I got you, brother. I got you. It's all right. Just keep working on it, my man. Just stick around the community, man. As soon as we can get sort that out, we can get you to racing, my dude. We do appreciate it. We got Madam Mel coming in with the like and the share. Kyle Pate coming in with that thumbs up as well, ladies and gentlemen. A little love from the Rockefeller teammates coming in. How you doing, my man? Yep. Bufu Shidara just coming in just to verify that we are just allowing drivers to reset and then reconnect here. So I knew that what was going on. We're good here. We're good here. It's all good. We have no worries. So what's everybody think so far of the graphics? What's everybody thinking about the look here for the GTRC? What's everybody thinking about this lobby? I know I've been excited about this lineup for a while, and we finally get to see it go down. As soon as we can get the other two drivers to connect here. So it's really unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not really anybody's fault. It's just the way the game is again. So we're patient with it. Jonathan Bastille coming in with the thumbs up as well. How you doing, my friend? How are we doing today? Much love, everybody. It is just popping off. We love that. I think I got a PM here. Oh, yeah. That's for something else. I'll deal with that later. Boop. We're just checking on the Discord chat, making sure that there's nothing that we're missing that's super vital right at the moment. Method, my guy, if you're watching, come on back, man. You still get your spot. You just gotta start at the back, my dude. Hey, Mel, how we doing, darling? Hope you're having a fantastic day. AC, the only top split driver in here. AC? No, there's definitely lots of top split drivers in here. Alright, we got 13, so we have another driver back in here. We got Freak back in, and I'm not sure where Method is here. Alright, 4-minute start warning. Method, you got 4 minutes, brother. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're well. We're fantastic, Madam Mel. We're fantastic. Nice to see you. Glad you're doing well. We appreciate you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be underway in 4 minutes time. So let's flip back over here for a second. Let's hang out. Hey! Don't mind my messy bed. I haven't made it yet today. Such is life. 60 race, that's awesome. Absolutely 60 minutes, you betcha, my friend. Alright, so again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna wait till everything's get kicked off here, then we'll throw it back over. I just want to hang out with everybody. How we all doing? So yeah, let's check out what we got here. Just give me a second. I'm looking for something. There it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we opened up the merch store recently. This is a good time to take advantage of this. So this is what of the items, of course, that came from the store. It's a toque. This is a small medium, and yeah, it turns out really well actually on the beanie. I'm pretty happy with it. We'll give you a good close-up on the hat here. This is a flex fit hat, ladies and gentlemen, so it's very good quality. There you can see. So I'm very impressed with that, and of course this is a very thin fleece sweater here that I'm wearing. It is surprisingly warm, ladies and gentlemen, so very happy with everything. It's just I need to update some imaging on everything to brighten it up a little bit, but overall pretty happy with the product. Everything is washed well so far as well, so there are washing instructions with certain products, of course, due to the embroidery and the printing, but so far I'm pretty pleased with it. So I definitely I'm happy with what, of course, our awesome print shop there is doing over there. So we are just having a heck of a time. We may see a lobby reset here. Well, who cares how many top split drivers are in here? How many? The whole lobby. I mean, the whole lobby is a top split. They're all minimum pro caliber drivers in any league. So they're top split drivers. I mean, most of these guys are on A+ and A ratings. Most of them. Some of these guys just don't run dailies, most likely, on much of the same things. So it's hard to really judge a driver sometimes by their driver rating, just because some of us just don't chance to daily races. So Tattooed Freak is he's been having issues connecting here all day too as well. So we may need to maybe think about changing a lobby host for next week's race, see if that changes anything. There's lots of little things that we can do to just give the best lobby conditions, of course. Going to be a good racing. It is going to be good. I was just curious. No need to be that way about it. Sikkum's definitely a top split. So is Bufu Shidara. We know Pagum's is. Ibra's a pro split for sure. Mike's a pro split for sure. Harris is a pro split for sure. Oliver definitely has potential to be elite style, elite caliber. So does CFR. Miss Devious does as well. So does Doug, and so does Petrolhead. So I mean, it depends on really the driver pool. I guess if you have another 15, top split drivers, where these would all settle out is hard to say. But minimum pro split drivers in the lobby. So definitely some high caliber racing going to happen here. And I don't know. I really don't know who's going to pull this win out. I mean, it really could be, again, our defending champion, Bufu Shidara. I mean, qualifying is one thing. Racing is a whole other thing. We all know that. When you put 13 or 14 or 15 cars on the track, racing conditions change everything. You're not hot lapping. Now you're worrying about... looks like we're going to get started here right away, ladies and gentlemen. I think Tattooed's connection is just not working for him, or it's the host yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I think Tattooed may be... Settle, boys, settle. You're all good, gentlemen. Starting here shortly. So we may be down to 12 drivers again. Connection issues, ladies and gentlemen. So unfortunate. Steven coming in with that share as well. Much love, brother. Appreciate you. Stefan, sorry, Steven. All right. These guys are all in a chat together, so they are communicating with each other as well, ladies and gentlemen. So they know what's going on. Of course, we don't sit in that chat for, obviously, I mean, that's not our business, what goes on behind the scenes. That's up to the drivers, what goes on behind the scenes. So we are going to be starting here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Again, appreciate the wait. Again, we're at the mercy, unfortunately, of the game. And it's not so perfect workings in some forms or another. All right, so we got him back in one more time here, it looks like. It's just a matter of whether or not he can actually get on the racetrack, I think is what the problem is. So we had much of the same issue last time around as well. Earlier in practice, they had it sorted out, so we know we can get him in here. And we can see this game is struggling right now. It really is. It's not, again, it's not the driver's faults here. It's really unfortunate. We're just at the mercy of the game. It's taking them an awful long time to get into the lobby here too. So we're going to clear our cache even though we're already in the lobby. I mean, it definitely won't hurt it. Yeah, I don't think the Tattooed is really trying hard to get into the race here. I just don't think it's going to let him. So that'll have to be something that we're definitely going to have to sort out moving forward into round 2. Now, the series operates every other weekend as well, ladies and gentlemen. So this weekend we're going to have GT4. Next weekend we're going to have the mini championships, the BMW E30s. The last week's race was actually really, really good. The drivers still are figuring that car out. So I think once the cars are figured out, we're going to see some really tight racing in the BMW E30 series as well. Looks like we're going to get underway here, ladies and gentlemen. I think they're determining that the connection just isn't working, and they're going to go on with the race. What that means for points moving forward, I don't know. We'll leave, of course, the administration staff and our officials sort all that out in the end, and we're going to have to figure out the connection thing. It's super unfortunate, but we are starting here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just waiting for my button, and then we'll flip you back over. All right. Here we go. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Kick them tires like them fires. It's time to go racing. And we're gonna let's go sit on board with Hair Razor here. Let's go about mid-pack and see what happens here. We got a spectating glitch. Fantastic. Oh, this is just going real well today. This game sometimes, yeah, there we go. Alright, Bufu Shidara gets out in the lead. We got Ibra and Sikkim here side by side. So Sikkim not getting the best launch off the start there in his BMW, I think that is. Yes, it is the BMW M4. But Bufu Shidara getting a good run. Ooh, and Sikkim getting a little bit wiggly there, almost making contact with Bufu Shidara. So battle for the lead here between Sikkim and Bufu Shidara. Sikkim is going to slot up in front. Bu's just going to settle in behind. Ibra here in third place behind Bufu Shidara now in the Mercedes. We got Apex Racing's Pigums slotted right in behind in that Toyota Supra as well, with the McLaren driver Oliver Smiley here in fifth. We've got Hair Raiser in 6th in the Mustang, the Corvette right behind with CFR. We've got Petrolhead in that Nissan Silvia. We have Doug Barrow in the Lexus, ladies and gentlemen. We got Miss Devious in that Toyota 86. We've got Mike here in the Hyundai Genesis. And did we lose another driver right off the start here? No, we're down 2. So 11 drivers on track. So let's get some information. And Sikkim gets a little bit hard on that curb exit there, and he almost made it a bad day for him there. So let's get your information up. Let's get to racing. All right, so Sikkim is back in the lead. He did start on pole position. It looked like Bufu Shadar got a great launch there and just stole it from him, but then he battled back for it. So first place does belong to Sikkim, our pole sitter. Bufu Shadar, a defending champion here, chasing very close behind, 9/10 of a second behind in that Ferrari. So it's going to be interesting to see the difference in these cars as we come around certain parts of the racetrack as well. We got Apex Racing's Piggums here in P3, and he grabs another spot there very early on, jumping ahead of that Mercedes driver in Ibra. McLaren driver Smalley here in P5, and he's solid right now, looking real good. He's just tucked into that slipstream, and we're a lot of nose-to-tail driving. Ooh, and a move here between Hair Raiser and Petrolhead. So who's going to get the job done here? That Mustang should have the run in the straight line on this Silvia, but the Silvia is going to have some much better handling coming into the corners here. So let's stick with this as we're coming into this really fast sweeper. We're going to see Hair Raiser slot in front of that Silvia, and he's just going to stay right in behind Hair Raiser. Dirty air is going to factor in for some of these cars. Some of them are going to handle it better than others, but Hair Raiser moving up into P6, and Petrolhead losing that position there to that Mustang in dropping down to P7. Miss Devious now worked her way up into P8, just a smidge off that pack in front. She has CFR in tow, and Doug Barrow very close behind chasing. We got Mike here rounding out our field in 11th place, and he's just a smidge off the pace here. I think he had a little bit of just a miscue early on at the start of the race there, and he's just fallen off this pack slightly. So away we go. It is Sikkim. He's starting to open up a lead, 1.5 seconds. This driver is very quick, ladies and gentlemen. He had a very solid race in the BMW series last weekend, and he's starting off very, very quickly here in this GT4 championship round 1 as well. So showing he's got good pace, and he's going to push these guys to the limit here in this race and see what goes. BMW is this M4 is a pretty solid car as well. So a fairly well-designed racetrack, I think, for this car here with Suzuka as well. Bufu Shadar in that Ferrari. He's got about a second gap on the third place driver Piggums, and Piggums just has a gaggle of drivers up in behind him here. So Piggums up at the P3, Ebra right in behind here, 4th place. Smalley here in 5th. We've got the Mustang and Hair Raiser in 6th place, and very close behind still is that Silvia driver Petrolhead, and he had a good qualifying as well. Miss Devious here is just a little bit off these guys here currently. 2 seconds. And just doing her thing right now, just doing her thing. She's in a rhythm right now. I don't think she's actually purposefully pushing at the moment. I think that she is already playing into a bit of a strategy here. CFR in 9th, could be much of the same thing. He's just sitting behind in that slipstream right now. They're kind of working together, but he looks like he's going to try and go around here. He's going to try and get a job done on the outside, but that is going to be tough. But it should give him the inside here coming into the next section coming on the racetrack here. So we are going to see CFR make the move here on Miss Devious. Miss Devious is going to tuck in, look for the cutback. Can she get the power down? No, she's going to have to slot right in behind there. And it was a good try to get that position back there, but that Corvette's power just urged him out ahead of that Toyota just a little bit. She wasn't able to get the cutback done, so great move there by CFR to move up into 8th, putting Miss Devious down in the 9th, and that's allowed Doug now here in 10th place to catch up to this pack as well. So nice little three-way battle here happening in the back half of the pack here today. We got Mike in 11th place as well, so let's jump on board with Sikkim here. And 2.3 second gap here right now in the race. We're still very early in. It's only lap 2, so it's going to come down to how long can he keep this pace before he starts shredding the tires and the fuel in this car. How many stops are we going to see come out of these drivers here today? It could very well be a 2-stop type of day here today with the way that the settings are in the fuel. It is technically designed not to really be one-stop feasible here for these races this season, so a one-stop is going to be very, very hard to pull out for these drivers. We should expect to see, I believe, anywhere between 26 to 28 laps of racing here today on Suzuka in this 1-hour endurance race from these drivers. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here as these drivers opt to come around. So Bufu Shadar in a Ferrari, this is his point of view here in 2nd place. You can still see the leader, so he's not too worried right now, but he's got a little bit of more worry here in behind him, of course, with Piggums and Ibra in behind chasing. Now all these drivers are very smart, calculated drivers. We're going to jump on board with our 3rd place driver here, Apex Racing's Piggums, and you can see he's kind of starting to close up on the Ferrari there of Bufu Shadar, and he is on a purple sector there as well here in 3rd place. We look at behind, and this is what he sees. All he can see is that white Mercedes bobbing back and forth in behind him here. So he is more than aware that Eber is there. Fourth place driver Eber here. We'll give you a little look of what each of these cars look like in the cockpit here too, as this race is kind of settled in a little bit here. The Mercedes has lots of roll cage in the way, so not a whole lot of sight line here for these Mercedes drivers as they're coming around the track here. And a lot of these guys are just probably really chilling right now, just using slipstream, working together. They don't want to see that lead continue to grow either, so we could see some teamwork coming from our second, third, and fourth place drivers here potentially. Oliver Smalley here in that McLaren, so this is what we're looking like in that McLaren here, ladies and gentlemen. And oh, there we go, we got a move being done here by Hair Razor in that Mustang, and the Mustang showing some great straight line power here today as he gets the move done in the same straightaway again under braking here. And great job there by Hair Razor in that number 69 Mustang. And he's looking spicy today. He is looking spicy today, looking comfortable in that Mustang. And I have heard that that car is a pretty good car once you figure out how to drive it. But Smalley here doing a great job in this McLaren as well. The McLaren does lack on the top end speed against some of these cars, but it definitely corners like a dream. This is definitely a good car for this racetrack as far as the technical sectors go. But here you can see it needs that slipstream coming up the straightaway, and this is just a stay on the back end of this Mustang in front of him. He isn't really ever gaining there, so it keeps him in the battle here as he comes into the technical sector, and that's where this McLaren really will start to shine. We're going to move forward here to Petrolhead. Much of the same thing here from this Nissan Silvia as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great car for cornering. It just lacks a little bit of top end speed, so you can see him here trying to work to get up into that draft as we come through the S's here. And we're going to come up the hill here, and you can see Hair Razor had to take that a little wide there, and that allowed that McLaren to really close up there. He actually took a little look inside, and Hair Razor's going to cover that off and set up for the next corner here. So I mean, anything's going to happen at any time. Again, one of these drivers just makes a small mistake, and it's going to cost position here on this racetrack today without a question of a doubt. Moving on through our field here, we got CFR in that Corvette, and I don't mind this car in the Group 4 class. It's a little bit heavy, it's a little bit sluggish for a Corvette, but it does really feel good and stable as you're driving around here in the Corvette Group 4 car as well. So it's a pretty solid car, hard on tires and fuel, however, so that is a battle for the driver in the Corvettes here this season. Moving down the field to our ninth place driver, Miss Devious here. She's in that Toyota 86, and she's just settled in behind CFR here currently in 8th place. She's got Doug Barrow chasing here in 9th and behind, but again, no immediate pressure. She's aware he's there, but they're just doing their thing right now as they're coming through this double long sweeping corner here. You'll need a really great exit. Good sweeping corner there for Miss Devious. Gets a great exit there. And Doug got a little bit wide there. He got under that AstroTurf, and that is a dangerous spot to be here on Suzuka. It makes you pay the price, but you can see there's plenty of positions available up here in front of these drivers yet as well. Doug Barrow here in 10th place. He's in that Lexus RCF Group 4 version, ladies and gentlemen, and he got it a little bit wrong there, but manages to do a good job of keeping it together. That makes you clench your butt cheeks together just a little bit when you get out there around that corner. You're doing about 140 miles an hour when you come around that corner, and then you hit that AstroTurf, and it gets a little spicy. It gets a little spicy no matter what car it is you're in, and Doug did a good job there to keep it all underneath him. And we got Mike here in P11 here, and he's not that far off the pack either, so that is kind of where we're sitting here in our Pro Split today. Unfortunately for Method and Tattooed Freak from Apex Racing, not able just to get the connection to hold stay in the race, so I'm not sure how the staff is going to assess that, but this definitely will be something, of course, that'll be looked at in the off week next week, as of course the drivers will be preparing for the BMW series as opposed to the GT4. Let's go Pigums, catch him, boy. Hey, he'll go, he's going, he is trying, but sick him, 5-second gap. This driver is showing some incredible pace here today. The family watching the race, hope they're enjoying it. So how about the Le Mans Virtual, huh? They got hacked. Oh, no way. That's so unfortunate. Hey, appreciate that like, Julius. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Or woman, whatever the case may be. I shouldn't assume. We're just checking on everything. Everything's looking really good today. The stream is just absolutely running top notch today, so I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful for everybody that's tuning in, watching as well. So Sikkim in the lead here, and he's got a commanding lead. Again, it's going to come down to fuel conservation and tire conservation here, and the pit stop strategy really ultimately is what could win or lose a race for some of these drivers here today. So 5-second lead here for Sikkim. Bufu Shidara has a 1-second gap on that 3rd and 4th place driver chasing here in behind as well. And Bufu Shidara is working hard in that Ferrari. Now the Ferrari is a great car if you know how to drive it. So Bufu Shidara is much like Doug. They like a challenge, and the Ferrari is definitely a challenge, but it is a very solid Group 4 car. So it is also a good car choice for Bufu Shidara here as well. We got Apex Pigums here in third place, and he's still just chilling. He's got Ibra on his tail, but again, not really fighting these drivers. They're just kind of not trying to slow each other down. They're trying to work to catch that driver up in front. Again, Ibra here in fourth place. Some Wacos on the side of that car there. We'll get some different angles on the cars. We'll take a look at the liveries here in a few minutes as well, ladies and gentlemen. We got Hair Razor coming around here, and he's got a couple of cars in tow. In fifth place, we got Petrol up into sixth. We've got Oliver here now in seventh. CFR still up here in eighth, but it looks like Miss Devious is starting to pull in that Corvette a little bit. You can see her flashing the lights there, like, hey mate, hold on, give me some of that slip, let's work together here. We got Doug coming in behind there as well, just outside Slipstream, 1.3 seconds behind, and Mike here in 11th place. So who's watching that Pro-Am lobby right now, ladies and gentlemen? Is it spicy over there? How's it going over there? I bet you that's a good race as well. So Sikkim is in the lead here. We're on lap 6, so 2-minute laps here, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a long lap around Suzuka with the Group 4 cars, but I think it's a good car for the Group 4. Good track for these Group 4 cars as well. Ooh, and we see in Sikkim there a little over pushing there, and that made a big mistake, so that's going to cost him time. So let's keep our eye on that. Let's see how much time that did cost him there. We've already seen a second, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. That little mistake right there just cost him 1.5 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see that every mistake is crucial here. Crucial. He has enough of a cushion to make that little mistake, but too many of those little mistakes, and he has a new problem in Bufu Shidara, Apex Racing's Pigums, and Ibra. So he definitely just needs to keep it right and tight. He's pushing. You can tell he's pushing. He definitely wants to open that gap up, but sometimes that also causes you to make mistakes, and those little mistakes at the end of the day could cost a driver position. So he just needs to settle in and keep it mean and clean, ladies and gentlemen, and he'll be rocking and rolling. Ibra here in fourth place with Hair Razor now in fifth. Mustang is cruising. We've got Petrolhead here in sixth place. We've got Oliver in seventh. McLaren's doing a pretty good job here around Suzuka. CFR here in 8th with Miss Devious not too far behind in 9th, and Doug in tow in 10th, and Mike here at 11th. So pretty good points for all these drivers no matter where they finish here today. Of course, not seeing the full field here today. We did have a couple drivers that just couldn't make it. It happens. And yeah, I mean, mechanics who keep working on those cars, they'll get them ready. Sickham's playing on novice difficulty. Oh, ouch. Fire. Shots fired. He's definitely looking good. He looked very solid in the BMW series as well. He definitely had a little more pace than the rest of the guys, and it seems to be the case here early on in this race as well. But keeping in mind, again, with this manufacturer series, and seeing a different manufacturer car from every driver through the field is going to change from race to race as well. So these drivers are going to have to work extra hard on some tracks to be able to stay where they are in a track that might be more suited for the car. The BMW likes big, open racing racetracks. That's what Suzuka is. This car is designed for this racetrack. Maybe not specifically, but it's a very well-suited combination in this case for this driver. The BMW is a racing race car, so you give it a racetrack to race on, and it'll go, and it'll do very, very well. So, I mean, it is a very strong car for this particular track as well this week. But not to take away from the driver, obviously. But we will see that change from week to week. We may see drivers not have the best race from one week to the next just because the track isn't necessarily as forgiving on their car. We have Pigums now here up at the second pace. So Apex Racing's Pigums slotting up in front of Bufu Shidara. So either a little mistake made there by Bufu Shidara, or Pigums just got in close enough to use a slipstream advantage and make the move around. We did miss that. I'm super unfortunate. But Apex Racing's Pigums now up into P2 and dropping Bufu Shidara down to third place. But Bufu Shidara will tuck right in behind Pigums here, and he's going to use this car now. He's going to save some fuel in that Ferrari. He's going to let Pigums do the work in that Supra, and he's just going to sit there and sip on fuel while he does it. So Ibra in that Mercedes, and Ibra's just keeping these guys just close enough to where if they make a mistake, it doesn't get him involved, but he can still jump on the opportunity, and this is by design with this driver. I almost guarantee it. Hair Razor's having a fantastic race here in fifth place. Hair Razor has been battling to find, and he just loses position there to Petrolhead for fifth place, so dropping down to sixth place. So that Sylvia is showing some prowess through that final sector over that Mustang. But now the question is this is where the Mustang's stronger right here. So is he going to get a response from Hair Razor as we come up into turn one on this straightaway? You don't know if there's going to be quite enough time to get a move done here, but he definitely closed that gap up. So The Sylvia will fly through these corners pretty good, but you can see Hair Raiser really getting a good gain on him through the corner there, so just a little bit better on entry, gaining some time here. But now we'll probably see that Sylvia start to pull away on that Mustang a little bit through this sector. The car can just get through here a little bit better. It's a little more nimble, and we'll see that gap now start to open up, as we are seeing that. You see 3.39, 0.2, so I guess it depends, but great battling here between Hair Raiser and Petrolhead all race long so far, ladies and gentlemen. And well, I mean, these two are like butter and toast. They've been stuck together all race long. Oliver Smalley here in 7th place, and he's still flying around the racetrack here in this McLaren, and it's looking very, very good out there. That's a great looking livery as well. CFR here in that Corvette as well as he comes around. We got Doug Burrow in the Lexus as he comes around here, Mr. number 13. Mike is now up into 10th place, so something may have happened to Miss Devious there, maybe a little mistake for Miss Devious, and she's now dropped down into 11th place here, but that's all right. There's plenty of racing left yet. We're going to see positions get swapped definitely before this race is over. We're only 17 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen. 17 minutes in. And we're already seeing positions being swapped quite a bit through the mid-pack. We see that all the time, though, in these races. These drivers really do like to take advantage of an opportunity when it is there. So they always like to try and stay nice and close. But this guy right here, Sikkim, is absolutely cruising right now. He's got a nice 5.5 second gap on the field. It seems like he's just content now with maintaining that gap as opposed to trying to open it up. He's settling in that car a little bit, just not trying to over push it now, and like I said, keeping it mean and clean. Apex Racing's Pigham's here, still in 2nd place. He's got a second gap on Boo Fushidara, so he has been able to break that slipstream a little bit on that Ferrari. You can see Boo taking a really short line through that corner to try to gain some of that time back up, and it did work. But again, just on the verge of that slipstream here in behind the Toyota Supra, so Pigham's going to lose that Ferrari through this next lap here. He could break the toe on Boo Fushidara and start to try and work on catching Sikkim up in front. Boo Fushidara trying to keep, again, like I said, trying to stay in the toe of that driver. Apex Racing's Pigham's up in front there in 2nd place. If he loses that toe, that's going to be a little hurtful for the Ferrari, because Ferrari doesn't have the top line speed, obviously, as that Toyota Supra does. Ibra here in the Mercedes, and this is much of the same thing. It's not so nimble around the cornering, but this car has a decent top end on it, so Boo Fushidara does now need to worry about this driver as he's closing in a little bit here, 1.3 seconds behind, because this car can definitely make the pull on a big drag race type of deal. Petra hitting that Sylvia, trying to open the gap up on Hair Raiser a little bit here, but Hair Raiser still doing a great job sitting in that slipstream here as he's coming around in behind in 6th place in the Mustang. So right now, Hair Raiser's been having a fantastic race. So Oliver Smalley here in 7th place as well. This has been a good race here so far tonight. CFR here in 8th. We've got Doug in 9th. We've got Mike in 10th, and Miss Devious here in 11th. But pit stops are going to change everything here, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these drivers are playing coy. Some of them are just playing strategy. Some of these drivers are just outright showing it all right now and saying, catch me if you can. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out once the race is over. I mean, we're only 19 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen, so plenty of time remaining here for lots of things to happen. We're just checking over everything, ladies and gentlemen, while we sit with our race leader here. I see a little spike there, so I'm just making sure everything is a-okay. We want, again, everybody to have the best viewing experience possible, so just taking a moment to make sure the stream is popping like it should be, and it sure is looking real solid here tonight. So fantastic. So we do have Oliver Smalley here coming into pit lane. So the first of our drivers to make a pit stop here is our McLaren driver, I believe it is. So you can see him coming in right now. Let's see if he takes some tires or if he's just going to come in and take some fuel. From what I can see, it just may be a fuel stop here for this driver, but let's see what happens. Yeah, he's going to take some rubber too while he's at it, so he is going to take some tires, and he is going to take some fuel there, so that's going to give Miss Devious P10 there and grandfather, everybody in behind up a position. So first driver of the day to make the pit stop is Oliver Smalley in that McLaren. So Sikkim here, pretty much leading the race for the majority of the race here. Bufu Shidara very briefly had the lead right off race start, but then Sikkim fought him for that and took it back away from him. So Sikkim now on track here as he's coming around that hairpin, left-hand hairpin. Probably one of the slowest braking points on the track, really. Even going into that final chicane at the end of Suzuka here, I think you're going through that corner faster than you are that hairpin. Apex Racing's Pigham's here, 6.2 seconds, and he's still only got that 1 second gap on Bufu Shidara. Now this is probably by design from Bufu Shidara. He's probably got a number that he doesn't want to vary from right now. Obviously he wants to be in the slipstream because that's going to allow to help fuel conservation and tire conservation potentially in that Ferrari, but Apex Pigham's doing a great job at just staying ahead of him, not to give him that option. Ibra here still in 4th place, starting to slowly fall off the pace of the front 3 guys up in front here, but again, we're not even halfway through this race yet, so plenty can happen here today still. We have Petrol ahead in 5th here. That Nissan Silvia is looking very strong here at Suzuka today as well, so that's a great looking livery there as well. Hair Razor here in 6th place, and I think we can go through and do a little bit of livery, take a look at the drivers' race car designs and their paint jobs, and Oliver getting that pit lane infraction as well. Never ideal. So let's jump on with our leader here. Let's take a look at this car, ladies and gentlemen, the BMW M4, and we're just going to take a little scroll around here. I'm going to take a little look at that car. Nice, plain, simple, very to the point. And leading the race right now currently. Oh, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Here we go. We were talking about that random weather. It is pouring in the middle part of Suzuka here right now. This may change everything for these drivers. Here we go. The weather at Suzuka has just added complications to this race. Some drivers in pit lane, that is absolutely just coincidence or perfect timing, and there we go. The leader is off the track here. The rain is going to change this situation, ladies and gentlemen. You know the drivers now are taking a look at that radar, and you can see the leader struggling right now to keep that car underneath of him. 2nd place driver Pigham's here as well. Hung out there. These guys just absolutely pushing these cars, just trying to get them through this rain. The moisture meter right now is in that wet tire range already. The rain just came out of nowhere, and it is messing everybody's day up, ladies and gentlemen. We have Ibra, same corner, same issue in that Mercedes now in P3, and this has just changed the perplexion of this race right here. Mike is up into 4th place here. We've got Miss Devious up into 5th, and Bufu Shidara just getting around her there in 5th. We got Doug here in 7th place, and every one of these drivers struggling right now on these racing tires with this water. This is fantastic. We love to see the racetrack throw these twists and turns in, and you can see it is pooling up on the sides of this racetrack already. It has come down pretty quickly and efficiently here. We got Hair Razor here in P9. He's on the wet tire here. Is that the right call? We're about to find out. We've got CFR on intermediate tire here. So different wet tire combination for the 2 drivers. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Oliver Smalley as well on that intermediate tire here. So 3 drivers making the right call at the right time here. They got themselves some wet tires, but some of these drivers, they just got to get their cars around the racetrack, and let's see what they opt to do here. We don't get to see the weather radar, unfortunately, as the commentator, so I don't know what that weather radar is looking like. I don't know if it looks like more is coming or if it looks like it's going to dissipate. I could not tell you. All I can see is what we see right in front of us here, ladies and gentlemen, and that gap has gone down to 3 seconds. Oh, and he's trying to just get that car around. He is going to try and fight this thing out here and not come in for racing wet tires. What's Pigham's going to do here? He's just thinking there. He was thinking. He wasn't sure what he was going to do there, but he's coming around now, and he's just trying to get a feel for the racetrack. So let's take a look behind. You can see the spray coming from the backside of these cars. You can see how much water is on the racetrack here, ladies and gentlemen. Bufu Shidara in that Ferrari. Now, this car probably is pretty good in the rain. So Bufu Shidara here, again, he's gone in. He's gone and grabbed some wet tires here. And 10 seconds behind Apex Racing's Pigham's and Sikkim here. This could be vital. If it continues to rain, this is going to be advantage to Bufu Shidara. Mike here in P4 And he's still on the racing tires as well. So I'm going to tell you guys what the situation is. I'm not going to show you, but I will tell you. We got Petrolhead and Miss Devious here, both on racing tires as well still. We got CFR, he's on these intermediate tires. Hair Razor's on the heavy wet. We've got Doug still on the racing tire. Ibra is coming into pit lane. I think he's just taking fuel. And Oliver Smalley here also on the intermediate tires. So, whoo, that changed things up, ladies and gentlemen. That was spicy. That was fantastic. We love it. We love it. I'm sweating. That had me excited there. Anything could have happened there, ladies and gentlemen. So Sikkim has a 14 second lead on Apex Racing's Pigums here now. You can see the track. I can see the track is starting to dry up a tiny little bit here. So Bufu Shadar is coming around, and some of these guys are going to struggle if this track dries up on these the wet tires. But anything can happen here. Mike here in P4, Petrolhead here in P5, so that definitely changed the way some of these drivers are positioned here on the racetrack now. Miss Devious is up at the P6, CFR here is in 7th, Hair Razor's down into P8, Doug's in P9, Oliver down into P10, and now Ibra in P11, and he does take on a fresh set of tires. Well, he was in pit lane there as well. We just didn't see the tire change happen, so I'm not going to say what. We're going to continue on here for a few minutes yet, ladies and gentlemen, but it is still Sikkim AC in the lead here, and he's looking good. I mean, now he's got a 15-second gap, so he's found I definitely found a nice little cushion. Unfortunately, for Apex Racing's Pigums, the rain just did not really work in his favor there. 6-second gap between him and the third place driver, Bufu Shadar, and you can see the track starting to dry up here now. You're not seeing a lot of overspray coming in from behind these race cars. There is a tiny little bit there, but definitely starting to see some dry lines here on the racetrack. You see Bufu Shadar, and you can see him taking a much different line than the rest of the racers, and that is because he's on a different tire. He needs a little bit of moisture underneath that tire to keep that tire gripping. We got Mike here in 4th place, and he's looking real solid here in the Genesis. We've got Petrolhead in that Sylvia. It's been looking good all race long. Miss Devious now up into P6. CFR chasing here in 7th place. Doug chasing in 8th. Hair Razor now coming back into pit lane here in 9th. We've got Oliver in 10th. We've got Ibra in 11th. And let me tell you, the rain has just completely changed the strategies for quite a few of these drivers today, and absolutely fantastic. I mean, what else can we say? But woo, Suzuka never disappoints to keep things spicy for everybody, and that's for sure. Oh wow. All right, so back to drying conditions. Let's jump back on board. Let's go through some liveries here. That was a little change. We had to make sure we focused on that. We've seen the leader's livery. Let's move over to Apex Racing's Pigum so you can see the name on the back of that car. And you can see there, just a nice little side shot as we rotate around. High Pre on the front of that car, of course, one of the sponsors or partners over there at Apex Racing as well. The same gentleman that does these amazing graphics we see here on the stream week in and week out. Pretty much no matter where it is where we're broadcasting, the man is behind the look. And of course, just that beautiful, beautiful shot on the back. We Races 1 there underneath that rear wing as well. It's a great looking livery here from Apex Racing's Pigums. Moving over down into Bufu Shadara here. And, you know, these drivers really do enjoy making liveries. We're in a bad spot here for the camera. Let's go this way. As let's let him get around this corner here. The cameraman's having a hard time getting the proper angle on poor Bufu Shadara's Ferrari here. So White Cloud Coffee, this is a sponsor of Bufu Shadara's, and it's a friend of his that has a coffee shop, of course, over there in the UK. And Bufu Shadara, I mean, lucky him, he gets to drink free coffee. And you can see him coming into pit lane there. We got Mike coming around. That's going to give Mike now the lead of the race. So first time for him leading today on lap 14, ladies and gentlemen, and that's now our third race leader here today, and it's the Hyundai Genesis now leading the way here in round 1 at Suzuka. And Draper Tools livery on there. There's some good looking liveries out here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go check out petrol here. You can see a ton of gentlemen now coming into pit lane. This is a very classic, clean, simple livery right here. You can see some Pride colors, I believe that is on the side of the car as well. And we got Black Lives Matters up on the back window there. So this is a car full of really positive messaging, so we like that. Definitely love to see that, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen these cars. Let's get the hair raiser here in this Mustang. And we're going to see some Gillette on that car. Of course, Costa as well is a real-life partner sponsor of this driver, so that's why we see Costa on these cars. And you can see right there on the driver, you see that on the passenger side door there, you see two little stars there, ladies and gentlemen. So what that is this is kind of what these guys have been driving for since GTRC's been a league. These guys drive for stars. These stars are the world to the drivers in this series and the leagues. This is what these guys are racing for. They get to put that star on their car, and what that it signifies is how many championship wins these drivers have, whether it's a main championship or a mini championship series. So we see there on the right side of Hairraiser's car with two stars there, so that means he does have 2 championship wins under his belt here with the GTRC racing community. Have we seen Ibra's? We haven't seen Ibra's car yet. We've seen it, but we haven't seen it. We haven't given it that nice round visual effect yet. So, a very simple, classic Mercedes livery, in all honesty, especially in the GT racing circuit. So, mock-style livery here from Ibra. We haven't been able to take a look at this Corvette here yet, or CFR as well. So, we'll start to take a little peek-sees here as he's coming around that left-hander. That's some great work there by our drone camera guys. Let me tell you, not an easy task for these guys to keep on these cars. Miss Devi is here, and I mean, delivery matches the name, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very custom livery. It's designed specifically for her and her style and just her thing, you know. And this is a pretty good looking livery. There's lots of personal touches and little funny sayings all over this car. I won't get into them, but if you guys see them on screen, you'll know what I mean. And unfortunately, we can't get a really good shot of the hood here, and that's super unfortunate. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a zoom in. We can't, and that's unfortunate there. We can't quite see that outer lining, of course, because of the shadowing on the racetrack right now, but it gives us an idea of what these cars' drivers are looking like. Now, some of the teammates' cars will be matching, some won't be, depending on the Pro-Am series as well, but that doesn't change anything. So, and Doug's been a good classic Doug livery right here from Doug Barrow. So nothing out of the ordinary that we're not used to seeing there. And final but not last is that McLaren livery. And this is a very racing style livery. It looks very, very good. Good old classic shell. We see GTRC, some Trustmaster on there. Shell Coca-Cola. Some great stuff on this car. Just a good classic racing style livery here on this McLaren here today. So. Yeah, guys and gals did a fantastic job on their cars here. But it is Petrolhead with the lead of this race here now. So the Nissan Silvia now leading the charge here, our 4th leader of the night, and it is our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th lead change as well, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, as I go through it in my head. So look at these guys go, they're flying. Petrolhead now cruising along nicely. We have Sikkim here in 2nd place, 13 seconds behind Petrol. We have Bufu Shidara in 3rd place, again defending champion here this series, ladies and gentlemen. Apex Racing's Pigham's chasing here, about 6 seconds behind. Hairraiser very close behind Apex Racing's Pigham's here in 5th place. We've got Ibra. There we go, let's get back to the right camera view. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little loud in that view, I know. Ibra here in P6. As, of course, a series of stops have been made, the drivers have resettled into their positions. We've got CFR here in 7th. We've got Mike in 8th. We've got Miss Devious here in 9th. We've got Doug in 10th. And we've got Oliver here in 11th. So we see some pretty good spacing by the drivers here so far. And that actually kind of surprises me that we see that much spacing from the drivers in this series. But again, the rain really threw a wrench into the race program for some of these drivers, so having to make some quick decisions and extra pit stopping, and that has kind of separated the field up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now as the race progresses. We have well, you guys can see it there in front of you, 35 minutes left on the race here, so we're 25 minutes remaining. And it is Petrolhead in the lead, 12.9 seconds. He's got a long way to go here yet before this thing is all said and done. The bigger question is, does he have the fuel in the tire to make this thing run out the rest of the timer? Or is he going to have to make another pit stop? If he has to make another pit stop, then he needs to open that gap as much as possible. Sikkim here in second place. He was the race leader. He is the fastest man on the racetrack with a 2:08.930. And trying to track down Petrolhead, tripping the time off little bit by little bit here as he comes around. Bufu Shidara here in third place, and still looking solid here on the podium, but he has some competition on the racetrack here this season if he wants to three-peat moving forward. Apex Racing's Pigum showed great pace and ability in last season as he joined midway through the season there. He climbed his way up the standings pretty well by the end of the season, and it was kind of in that conversation. So we do know that this is a very good, quick quality driver as well, but the whole field is it's so hard to determine who's going to win from one meet to the next. We've got Hair Razor here in 5th place as well, and he's been having a fantastic race in this Mustang here today. Ibra is in 6th place with that Mercedes. Very patient, calculated driver is Ibra, so be interesting to see what he comes up with at the end of this race. He now has CFR in that Corvette, really chasing him down in 7th place here, so maybe a little battles are going to start brewing between these two drivers. Mike here in 8th place. 6 seconds gap from the drivers in front, 10 seconds ahead of Miss Devious here. Miss Devious is in 9th. She fought it out through the weather along with Doug right in behind. These two drivers haven't been too far apart from each other all race long either. So no real big battles developing here. And again, the rain really changed the way this race is happening here today. You can see now it is just beautiful. It's sunny outside. The drivers are chilling. The racetrack is nice and dry. It's optimal conditions again. The weather has just been all over the place for these drivers here today, and it's been a good one. Suzuka has not disappointed us here today, that is for sure. And we've got Ryan Sheehan coming in with that thumbs up. Much love. Welcome in, brother. Hope you're doing fantastic. We're going to go check over on the YouTube channels here too and check out all our lovely comments and viewers. Darn it, Sikkim, you should have pitted. Okay, maybe not. Gran Turismo 4? Not Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7. Alright, we're just going to do a little comment refresh on Facebook, because Facebook has been weird lately. So we are working on a new live notification system here, ladies and gentlemen, here at the page of GT45 Gaming. I know one of the biggest issues for viewers, whether it's myself or any content creator that you guys follow or watch, live notifications really is a big issue. You have them turned on, but you're not receiving them. I can't explain why that happens. It's just something within the system, within the platforms. GT45 has an external way for everybody to get those live notifications. So hopefully by next weekend we'll have that all sorted out for you, and we'll direct the community there so you guys never miss those live notifications. I know sometimes we just don't know that our favorite creators are live because we don't get those notifications. So we do have a system coming into place, an outside system through the website, and this one works. It's fantastic. So lots of changes happening here at the page as we progress throughout the season here at the GTRC as well, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, of course, they're going to have a nice private section in the website there for themselves and their league and what they're all about. So it's going to be a lot of fun here as we move forward with our Gran Turismo racing community this season. Lots of hype, and the drivers have been doing a fantastic job here. Petrol's got now a 22-second gap on Sikkim. Sikkim has clearly made a mistake because now Bufu Shidara is right on his back door here. So Sikkim making a mistake somewhere. It obviously wasn't clearly a very large mistake, but it was enough for the third place driver to start gaining ground on him. So again, maybe just a case of a little bit of overdriving the car, and got himself into just a little bit of a wiggle situation. And we've seen that once or twice already from Sikkim up in second place this race. So just overdriving the car just a tiny little bit there, and now he's got a little bit of an issue in the name of Bufu Shidara in a Ferrari chasing him behind. Apex Racing's Pigums 6 seconds behind. He is starting to slowly but surely gain in on those drivers up ahead. Hair Razor is still right there in behind, and these two are pretty familiar with running with each other here as well. So it'll be interesting to see if these drivers hook up, if they work together, if they battle it out. CFR here in 6th place. He's having a great race here in that Corvette, and Ibra's starting to really close that gap up. So Ibra's really starting to do whatever it is that Ibra does. This could be a part of his strategy. He's at the point where he's ready to push now and make up position, but he's definitely closing up on CFR here within that slipstream. No immediate battle happening, but it's definitely building. Mike here 4.7 seconds off these guys as well. Miss Devious a little bit off behind these guys. We got Doug here in 10th place. We've got Oliver in 11th. So here we go. It's absolutely fantastic racing here so far. But that Nissan Silvia is the leader, and if he doesn't have to pit, he's in a beautiful spot, but he may have to pit. So unfortunately for this driver, it might not be enough time to keep Sikkim and Bufu Shadara in behind him when he of course exits pit lane. So Petrolhead is going to have to make a pit stop. Now, with that being said, does this driver opt to take a fresh set of tires, or is he just going to be the splash and dash situation? It's hard to say, but he is not going to be able to make another 20 minutes with what I'm looking at in front of me. Sikkim here in 2nd place, again being chased by Bufu Shadara. He's starting to open the gap up a slight little bit by bit. It was like 3/4 of a second last lap at this point. Now it's 1.3. So finding a little bit of time on that driver chasing. Apex Racing's Pigham's here in 4th, and we see Hairraiser having to come into pit lane here in 5th place. So he's going to make a stop now. Let's stick with Hairraiser here and see what he does when he comes into pit lane here, when he does make that stop. Let's see if he opts to take some tires. We see those tire guys there ready in case he wants those tires. Are they going to put those tires on? No? Yes, they are going to put some tires on. I thought that was just going to be a splash and dash. So full service pit stop here for Hairraiser, and let's see what that does for his time. He's got a 30-second lead on Miss Devious and Doug Barrow, but they're coming around right now. So they're going to grab that position from him. So Miss Devious and Doug move up into 8th and 9th place. Hairraiser's still sitting there in pit lane. Oliver's just coming into this the final chicane. No, he's going to dive into pit lane as well, so he needs to take his final service of the race. So it does look like we're seeing a majority of these racers going on a two-stop strategy, each of them on a very different type of two-stop strategy. It's very varied when these drivers are opting to pit in. So we're not seeing similar strategies by the majority of the drivers here so far in the series in round 1, which is fantastic. That means there is definitely strategy involved in the series, and that's what we're hoping for. That's what we'd love to see. And each driver kind of has its own variation of a two-stop strategy apparently here today. Maybe some one-stops, but I think we're seeing mainly two-stops here today. So 2.1 seconds from Sikkim 2, and there we go. There it is. That's what we're waiting for. So we do have Petrol coming into pit lane. Now that should allow Sikkim and Bufu Shadara to jump out ahead of him. Depends on what kind of stop he opts to take here. This is really going to come down to this pit stop for this driver, and ultimately where his best finish is going to be on this racetrack. So let's see what he does here. He's going to take tires. That's going to add about 6 seconds to that pit stop, and then he's going to take fuel. So he is going to lose that position. It is going to be Sikkim back up into the lead of this race. So our 5th lead change of the night, and still our 4th race leader of the night, Bufu Shadara, is right there in behind as well. We got Apex Racing's Pigham's here chasing in 3rd place. So Petrol's lost 3 spots here so far. CFR and Ibra both coming around. Where is Petrol? And the tank is out. Let's watch this go down as he comes out of pit lane here. He's got 2 drivers coming down at speed. He's going to have to hold that inside line. He's not going to be able to cut across to get that optimal turn in here into turns 1 and 2, and he does a fantastic job. And he does come out ahead of CFR and Ibra. So it is P4 for Petrolhead, but CFR and Ibra very, very quickly closing in as they are at speed already coming into corners 1 and 2. Mike here in 7th place, and he's looking good too as well, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what else can we say about Mike? But he is flying. Miss Devious here in 8th place, and still Doug Barrow in tow. Here in 9th, we've got Hairraiser now in 10th, and we've seen him make like 4 stops today or something crazy like that, chat. So they're doing pretty good for 4-stop race here for so far. Of course, we did see some rain in the earlier part of this race, and it wasn't light rain, it was quite significant. So some of these drivers did opt to go in for wet tires and then have to make the extra stop to come back out onto the racing tires again. So the rain definitely changed strategy for a lot of these drivers here today. So Sikkim here coming around the double left-hander to come up as, what is it, 85R? I think it's 85R, it might be 95R, I can't remember, on Suzuka here. And then this is just going to be a really high speed kink to the left here. These guys take this at a roughly about 130 to 140 miles an hour, depending on the car and the traction. We're going to see, let's see what Sikkim does here. He's going to take it about 135, 36 miles an hour. Driver in behind is going to be just slightly slower through there at about 133 miles an hour. So that does make up for time as well on exit of a couple miles an hour faster through that corner. We got Apex Racing's Piggums here in third place, and he is trying to close in on these guys. He's slowly but surely dripping time, but whether or not it's enough with 14.5 minutes remaining is to be determined. Petrolhead is sending it right now here. 16 seconds to Apex Racing's Piggums up ahead. We're going to be keeping our eye on that. CFR and Ibra already losing the pace of Petrolhead. They're in fourth place, so Petrolhead is definitely pushing very hard there to try and get the best position he can. He wants to try and see if he can slot himself up into the podium here today. Mike in 7th with Miss Devious behind in 8th, Doug in 9th, Hairraiser in 10th, and Oliver here rounding out our field in 11th. So it's been a pretty interesting race here so far. It looks pretty clean from what I could tell at the race start there as well. Of course, we did have the stupid spectator glitch, which was super unfortunate, so we didn't quite see exactly what happened going into turns 1 and 2, but it did look like everybody got through there fairly neat and tidy, so that's good news. That's good news. Sikkim in the lead, 3.3 seconds. Bufu Shadara, second place, 5.5 second gap on Apex Racing's Piggums, holding that final podium position, 16 seconds ahead of Petrol. Petrol is dripping that time away, though, bit by bit. Problem is, does he have enough time to fully reel Apex Racing's Piggums in? CFR in 5th, losing time to the 4th place driver. I think the battle for these two drivers is exactly right here, 4th, 5th, and 6th place here today between our Mercedes and our Corvette. So be interesting to see how that develops as we go on. We also have Mike, and he is starting to close in on these guys. He is starting to put the pressure on. He's starting to put the floor down, the pedal to the floor a little bit harder here, and he is trying to close up that group up in front. So maybe three-way battle there. Miss Devious and Doug very close together here as well, 8th and 9th place, much like we've seen from Petrolhead and the other driver here today. They've been pretty much stuck together like glue all race long. They really haven't separated in time difference or anything from each other. Hairraiser here, he was racing very good and well with Petrolhead here at some point, but then again, the rain came in and it changed up his stop strategy a little bit. And now you can see he's paying the price for it here in P10, and that's really unfortunate because he was having a fantastic race right up until that rain came and hit these drivers here on the racetrack. And we're not done yet. I mean, it could come back. I mean, who really knows what's going to happen here at Suzuka? It has been a mixed bag of Mother Nature here in Japan today. The drivers have been struggling. They've been struggling, but it's been a fun race. Sikkim here in first place. He's got 4 seconds. He is starting to really open the gap up on Bufu Shidara. He does not even want to let that defending champ get within a sniff of first place at this point. And he's working very hard at doing that. Bufu Shidara starting to slowly but surely give time up to third place driver Apex Racing's Piggums here. But the amount of time that this driver is gaining on the second place driver, again, I don't know if he has enough time remaining in the race to really reel Bufu Shidara in and then get around him. It's one thing to catch the driver, then you got to work on actually making the pass on that driver. And not easy when you're in a top split lobby here. We've got Petrolhead in 4th place here at that Sylvia, and he has really been setting that thing around Suzuka here today. He has made this car look really, really good, and this may be the car to look out for this season, potentially, maybe. Ibra here in that Mercedes as well in 5th place. He's lost a little bit of time to Petrolhead there. He was right kind of on his tail, and not sure what happened there, but 7 seconds back now, and Mike is closing in on Ibra. So 6th place for Mike, maybe a look at 5th place here before the end of the day. CFR is starting to close in on Mike here as well, so we start to see some of these drivers really tighten up here near the end of the race. Miss Devious is cruising here as well in P8, and she's just maintaining that gap currently on the driver up in front. Doug is a little bit off the pace of Miss Devious here now. I'm not sure if he made a mistake somewhere. Hairraiser is chasing, and so is Oliver Smalley here. So again, the rain really did change some of these drivers' races today, and that is I mean, that's what we love to see. That's what we love to see in league racing. We want to see that the weather come in and play a factor in these drivers not knowing when or if it's going to happen. It's as much a surprise to them as it is to us, the viewers and the broadcasters. So that is really a big plus here on Gran Turismo 7. As of course, how's the game sound, everybody? Is it good enough? It seems like it might be a little bit low on my mixer, but I could just be seeing things. Bufu Shidara here, he is trying so hard to catch Sikkim, but Sikkim's just not giving him even a millimeter of gain. Pigums is starting to pull in on Bufu Shidara here, though. Petrolhead pulling in on Apex Pigums as well, but just not able to really close that gap enough, I don't think. Ibra here in 5th with Mike in 6th, as CFR's had to make a pit stop here. And maybe not thinking he's going to have enough to get through the remainder of this race. Not really sure what's going on in the thought process there, but that's going to give Miss Devious definitely another spot up for P7. That's going to give Doug another spot here as well for P8, and that should give Hairraiser. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's stay with CFR here for a minute as Hairraiser's coming around. Let's see if Hairraiser can grab this position off CFR or not. I really didn't actually expect to see this driver have to stop, so I'm a little bit surprised to see such a late pit stop here from this driver. So, 9th place driver, and he's coming out right now, and Hairraiser's going to be awfully close here, I think, at this point. Where is Hairraiser? He is. He's just coming up to start straight, so he's going to be at full speed coming in behind CFR, but CFR has already entered into turns 1 and 2, so fresh tires, interesting to see what's going to happen. But back to our race leader. Let's do a onboard lap here with our race leader as soon as he gets around the track. Here we are almost out of time, so we haven't done our full onboard lap with our race leader here yet today. So we're going to jump into our secondary cockpit angle and let you guys really enjoy what's going to be a difficult lap here around Suzuka with, of course, our race leader Sikkim ACB00, ladies and gentlemen. This full name you see on screen, we just call him Sikkim here, but we're going to jump on board here. I'm going to shut my mic off for a minute. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there is an onboard lap around Suzuka with our race leader Sikkim here, and he's looking really in charge here. He's going to cross finish line here. We're going to see about 3 more laps from these drivers up front here, maybe 2 from the drivers in the backside of the field. So we are getting very, very close to the end of this race here with 54 minutes just ticking past on the timer. So Apex Pigum's here in 3rd place. Petrolhead is doing very well here in 4th place. And Nivan Sylvia has been a very charging car here today, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. I didn't think this was going to be the greatest track for that car, but Petrolhead has definitely proven me wrong there today. Ibra in that Mercedes here is in P5 as he's just coming through that chicane sector there as well himself to come across the start-finish line, and it's going to be lap 25 for him as well. Mike's coming around here in 6th place. He's going to start lap 25. Miss Devious is coming around here in P7. She is going to be starting lap 25 here as soon as she comes around these fast last couple corners. Pardon me, I can't talk apparently today. So lap 25 for Miss Devious here. She comes around. Doug, much of the same thing. CFR's just a little bit behind these guys after having to make that pit stop. So that was really unfortunate for this driver. He was going to have a great race finish there, but it's still a good race finish, but probably not what he was hoping for. Hairraiser here in 10th place, and Oliver here in 11th. You can see he's got a half-second penalty there, so he's starting to really battle with the racetrack a little bit here. He's got blue flag being waved, so that must mean that our race leader is starting to close in, and that is the case. So blue flag situation here, ladies and gentlemen, is it is the job of the blue flag car to get off the racing line and allow the lead lap car to go through. Now, with that being said, if you're in the middle of a technical sector, of course, the blue flag car is allowed to hold the racing line through that sector and then immediately on the next safe available point pull off the racing line to let the lead lap cars through. Sikkim may or may not catch him before the race is over here, but he most likely will as he's just coming up on him here right now. So we're going to see Oliver Smalley here just come around the corner, and again, they're not here to compromise their races. We just there is a safe way to do it, and we're gonna stick with the leader here as this goes down. I'm just keeping my eyes on the radar and the map up top there. We have a couple of cars really starting to close up on each other here, so we may be seeing a battle for position, and I believe that's going to be Bufu, Shadar, and Piggums. So we're going to go check that out here shortly, and you can see right there Oliver just pulling off the racing line on the start-finish line there. He's going to allow the leader to go through. He's going to tuck right back into the racing line, and he's going to continue on with his race. Absolutely perfectly executed here by Oliver Smalley. Great job by both these drivers. Bufu Shadara here in 2nd place. I really thought that it was him and Piggums that were close, but I was mistaken. So 3.5 seconds still separating Piggums from Bufu Shadara. 15-second gap to, of course, the 4th place driver Petrol. Ibra here in 5th place, Mike in 6th. That is where the two cars are grouped up, so we may be seeing this battle here very, very soon. Miss Devious here is in 7th place. We got Doug in 8th. We've got CFR in 9th, Hairraiser in 10th, and Oliver Smalley here in 11th place. So pretty good racing season start here for the GTRC Pro Division here this season, and the rain really changed this race here today, not only for the racers but for the viewers as well. Obviously it spread the field out a little tiny bit, which is super unfortunate, but we are still seeing some good driving and racing and times being put down by this Pro Split. So it's going to be interesting for me to go back and watch the Pro-Am lobby here a little bit later, of course broadcast by Nolander Gaming over there on Facebook, as well, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be very interesting for me to go over and see how that Pro-Am lobby was and went down today as well. So that's going to be exciting. Usually I'm the one broadcasting. It's nice to be able to sit back and just watch and be a fan as well. So much love to Nolander Gaming for jumping in on board with the staff here and taking on that Pro-Am division. Much love to him. Hope he's having fun out there. Hope those boys are putting on a show. Piggums here is in 3rd place. We got Petrol in 4th, and I mean, I think unless a major mistake happens at this point, Ibra must have made a mistake right there. Miss Devious now maybe potentially has a potential chance at another position here with Ibra making that mistake. She's really been able to close up on him. So we're going to be starting our final laps here as our drivers are coming around. And it's going to be one to go for the whole field here, ladies and gentlemen. So we may have 1 or 2 just finish at the timer here, but it is going to be final lap here for our race leader Sikkim as he is coming around. Oliver Smalley as well, his final lap. Bufu Shadara and Apex Piggums. Ooh, it is getting close, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to see some fireworks for 2nd and 3rd place here before this race is over? Let's get through our field real quick. We are definitely going to come back and take note of that happening on the track. Let's see if we have anything else developing here. Currently not at the moment, so let's get back to 2nd and 3rd place here. 1.3 seconds is that separation from our 2nd and 3rd place driver, and this is the closest thing to a battle I think we've got at the end of this race here today, ladies and gentlemen. So Apex Racing's Piggums has thrown down a 5-second gap and turned it into a 1.2. Does he have enough time to catch Bufu Shadara before the end of this lap? This is it, ladies and gentlemen. There is not another lap as these drivers are coming around here. So let's get back on with Bufu Shadara here in 2nd place, and he has Piggums definitely hunting here. Can Piggums close the door is the question. You know, Bufu Shidara is going to be working real hard at not letting them gain that time, and you know Apex Racing's Piggum is going to be working extra hard to try and gain that time up to try and make something happen at the end of this lap here. But it is looking tough out there. Lap traffic may start to become an issue or a factor here as well for these drivers, so that's interesting just to play in a little more. But it is going to be our BMW driver here coming around the last few corners looking for that race win here today. So, and you can see the car's got some scars. Suzuka has left its mark probably on the majority of these drivers here today. So a little bit of a memorial from Suzuka racetrack for some of these drivers here as they leave the racetrack today as well. Just a little love from Suzuka to say, hey, remember me? All right, so Sikkim is coming. Oh, and he gets it really wide there. He manages to keep the car under control, so that's good. Doesn't lose it going out of that corner into the marbles, but now you can see he's got some dirty tires here. He's really having to work that car around coming into the final corner here, and it is going to be a race win here for Sikkim, so congratulations to Sikkim for his P1. It is Bufu Shidara who is going to edge out Apex Racing's Piggums here for a P2 finish, so good start for him. Apex Racing's Piggums coming out P3, good start for him as well. Petrolhead coming out with that Sylvia and having one dandy of a race here for himself today. He's just going to find himself off that podium, but really good race here for Petrol and a 4th place finish. You got Mike coming around here now in that Hyundai, and this is it. He's just got to bring it home here, so we're just going to let him do exactly that. Mr. Fuentes coming in with that thumbs up. Much love, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic here today. And it is going to be Mike coming around here for a P5 finish here today in that Hyundai Genesis. GR Ibra now coming around. He's going to take P6 here today. He is in the Mercedes, but a little mistake does give that position to Miss Devious. No mistakes made here. Ibra's going to come around. He's going to take a P6 here today. Miss Devious going to come around here for a P7 finish as well. So a good recovery race for Miss Devious there, getting herself back up into that mid-pack. Slow start, strong finish. Doug, much of the same thing here. A little uncharacteristic from this driver. We usually see him in the front, so seeing Doug finishing 8th place is a little bit of a shock. However, he isn't feeling the greatest right now. CFR here coming across in a solid 9th place finish, and Hairraiser is going to be the last one to officially put his car across that finish line, and he's going to come in P10 there. And of course Oliver coming across that start finish line just a little bit earlier in amongst behind the leader there in P11. So congratulations to all the drivers. Fantastic stuff out there this week. It was a tough week. The drivers now have an idea of how each other's pace and how each other's lines are and what their cars are like compared to each other. They got some information. So moving into round 2 now, how they transmit that information into data that they can use moving into the next race is very, very important. So we're just going to go check out our next race here, and it is going to be Catalunya, ladies and gentlemen. So on the 28th of January we will be heading to Barcelona for, well, what should be a pretty good another second race. I mean, the rain really played a factor here today, and really was the deciding factor on some drivers' races. Some of these drivers opted to make the call on those wet tires, and at the end of the day, unfortunately for those drivers, it set them back in the back half of the field here today, because the drivers that just opted to stick it out on that racing tire and just fight the slower lap times and the harsher track conditions ended up coming out ahead there, because they didn't have to make the extra 2 pit stops in order to get back to the right sets of tires. So again, lots of information to be taken from round 1 for each of these drivers here today, and super unfortunate to our Apex Racing's Tattooed Freak and THG's Method. Again, just weren't able to get into this lobby solidly enough to get to the race. So that is a little bit of a heartbreaker, but it is Sikkim here with pole position. So did somebody steal fastest lap from him is the bigger question, because I would have expected to see a fastest lap there as well. Drivers, please save your replays. If there is an incident report, you guys will need the replay. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers do have 20 24 hours to file any incident reports. The staff here then assesses those incident reports immediately. They put out their official results, and then the standings guy works their magic, and they release the standings relatively quickly. Usually within 48 to 72 hours, we have standings out for our divisions. Of course, this is a pretty complex set of standings here with a solo championship, a team aspect, and a manufacturer aspect. But I got to tell you, these guys are top notch here behind the scenes at Gran Turismo Racing Community, and they will absolutely be on it. But massive congratulations to our top 3 drivers: Apex Racing's Pigums in P3, Bufu Shidara, our defending champion, in second place, and of course Sikkim rounding out the field here on the top of the podium today in first place. So that was some pretty good racing, I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen. So let's check it out. The new screen. Let me know about the background music. If it is too loud, please let me know. We will turn it down a little bit. I just want to give a little ambient mood while we have some space during the podium interviews. So please do feel free to let me know how everything looks and sounds. So we do have one of our finishers here in the Discord chat. We will wait for our other 2 gentlemen to come in. We've got Sikkim up in the house now here as well, and then we're just going to be waiting for Apex Racing's Pigums here. So, what'd you all think? What'd you think of the first round of the GTRC GT4 Championship Series? I think without the rain playing in a factor, I think we had a really, really great, healthy battle in the top 5, 6, 7 drivers. The rain really came in and socked it to these drivers here today at Suzuka, and it really changed the way the race finished out. So the deciding factor here today isn't the drivers, it isn't the pace, it isn't an incident on the racetrack. It was Mother Nature at its finest, and that was most certainly the deciding factor for many drivers here today. It came out, it dropped some rain with a fury, and tough decisions had to be made by the crews and the drivers. Some made good decisions, some made not such good decisions, and the race results are the race results here today. So some pretty good racing. And we'll be seeing some very good action here moving forward. And there we go, we do have everybody up in the house. So we're going to kick this underway here. And we got Tagger in, not sure why he's in this one. I think he needs to be in the other. Nope, we're good. All right. So I can see who the top 3 finishers are over in the Pro-Am as well. So that is interesting. I love that. So let's talk to our drivers here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Oh, we lost Bufu Shidara there for a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So some pretty good racing out there. Suzuka never disappoints to be very, very difficult for the drivers, even on a good day of weather. Today, Suzuka had something completely differently in mind for our racers, and it really kind of threw a wrench mid-race into of course, the whole way that this race went down for every single driver. So let's move over to Apex Racing's Pigums. Now, he had a really solid race all race long. He toughed out the rain on those racing tires, and it was a struggle, it was a battle, but he made it through, and at the end of the day he found himself on that bottom step there on the podium for 3rd place. So first of all, congratulations on the first podium of the season here in the GT4 series. How was the race?
Oh, thank you, sir. That was intense. We'll go with that.
Absolutely.
Just kind of forgot about the rain for a minute until it started, and then gambled on whether or not it was going to keep going or not. And kind of got a little lucky, but it was intense.
So was your decision made when the rain came really based off of what the drivers up in front were doing, or did you just figure, you know what, this isn't really going to hold up, judging off, of course, weather radar that you guys could see, and you just decided just to tough it out for those 2 laps? What kind of made you make that call?
Did a couple of practice laps earlier in the rain, and it wasn't too bad as long as the meter didn't fill up too far. So I saw on the radar that it was just a little band of rain, and just kind of gambled that there wasn't any more behind it. Got lucky this time.
There we go. Absolutely. And everything is looking good on the stream again. Fantastic. All right. So, I mean, we're no stranger to talking to Apex Racing's Pigums here, whether it's this league or other leagues. He was a very strong competitor, of course, last season. You joined partway through the season last season and come back for a full-time run this season. So are you happy with your result in the first round?
Definitely. I'll take anything in the top three any day of the week.
Absolutely, and Sikkim really looked like he had some really great pace out there today. So I guess moving forward, it's a very long, grueling season here at GTRC. It's a 12-week season, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are watching. So I guess what's your game plan for the next 2 or 3 races here now moving forward as far as practicing, getting ready? Of course, we had the Pro-Am Lobby run at the same time as well, so you're probably interested to see how your teammate did over there. But I guess what's the game plan? Are you more focused on a solo individual championship, or is the focus kind of on that solo championship and that team manufacturer aspect?
I'd have to say both. I mean, it's always nice to do good yourself, but it's always nice to see the team do good too. So we aim for both, and just hope it doesn't rain anymore.
Absolutely, and I mean we're heading to Barcelona next week, so I can't say that it's not out of the question for you guys. So again, the driver's really going to have to make sure they got a set of wet tires on track with them next week because we just don't know what's going to happen with that rather random factor. But definitely the deciding factor in the race today, I think, for most of the drivers, we've seen some drivers that were having just exceptional races, and then that rain hit, and they decided to come in for obviously a form of wet tire, and of course then having to go back in and change back to a racing tire. So the cost of an extra couple pit stops really unfortunately hurting those teams out. So when you started to see a gap near the end of the race, I mean, what's going through your mind? Obviously you're pushing to try and catch Bufu Shidara there in second place, and at some point he must have made a little mistake, and that allowed you to really close up. So 2 laps to go, did you think you had a shot at second place?
For a couple of laps there, it was looking like I was catching him a little bit, but then he started to pull away there on that last lap, and I made a mistake at the end, pushing a little too hard. And after that, there was no chance of catching him. So great race to him.
Absolutely, and of course, defending champion coming into this big championship here this season as well as Bufu Shidara. So definitely got a target on his back. But after today's race, I think there's a new driver in the field with a target on his back here as well as our race winner Sikkim. So I just want to say congratulations. It was a great race. You survived Suzuka, and shout outs and thank yous.
Yeah, I just want to thank my team affiliates for. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. But I would like to do the same. Thank all the team and everybody that puts these on and comes out to race. And hopefully we'll see everybody again in 2 weeks, and we'll do this again.
Absolutely. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it is Barcelona with no chicanes, so it is going to be a very high-speed racy race in 2 weeks' time here for round 2 as well. So how you feel about Barcelona, Pickums?
I'm pretty comfortable there, so as long as it doesn't rain, I think we'll be alright.
And there we go. The R word seems to be the vicious word of the season already here today, this season. So congratulations, great racing, of course, again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody. Great race, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, great words, of course, always from Apex Racing's Piggums. We love talking to Piggums, and he works hard on the racetrack. You know, he does take some time to put out lap guides and stuff as well before each race. So, I mean, he does a lot of behind-the-scenes work here at the GTRC. So, we just want to give him an extra shout-out and a little extra love for just taking that extra time to, of course, reach out to every driver in both divisions and try to give any tips and pointers he can in any way to help those guys home in there any mistakes or struggles that they're having. So just a little extra love there to Apex Piggums. He's really stepped up and he's really been a helpful community member here, and we appreciate it. So moving to our second place driver, though, defending champion, ladies and gentlemen, Bufu Shidara. He's coming off 2 major season championships in a row here, and the focus, I'm sure, for Bufu Shidara is obviously on a three-peat, but there's some competition on the racetrack this season. Talk to me about the new faces and what you think and how you think the rest of the season's going to go for you.
Can you hear me firstly? Because I've had a few problems.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect, excellent. Yeah, tough race. Sikkim, I already knew he was going to be tough to beat. And new face, definitely a challenge. Congratulations to him, good pace. There's going to be a lot of work in the background trying to catch up to his pace. And Piggums as well, he's exactly where he was before, just pushing me all the way. I'm surprised I managed to overtake him during the race because I know I fell behind him and then he started putting a gap on me. So, yeah, tough race, tough championship as well going ahead.
Now, like I was talking about with Piggums there a little bit earlier, we were talking about the rain factor here today. Now, I had an idea that rain could definitely be potential in this race today, and you just happened to pit right when the rain started. Now, was that just purely coincidence? You were just on your strategy and it just happened to work out for you that way? Or did you just pit in to take wet tires there?
I was seeing the rain come in. I was thinking it was dark enough that I thought it was worth the risk of paying for the wets. I think the mistake I made was not paying for inters. Would have given me that little bit. It would have been that little bit faster for that little bit longer as well as the track started drying out. I thought it was worth the risk. Sick was too far ahead. Piggins was pulling a gap, and I thought, you know what, the worst I can do is finish third. So it was. I saw it come in. When I pitted, was deliberate. I mean, that's when the rain actually just landed. So yeah, definitely deliberate.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about the weather radar function here on Gran Turismo 7. Now, the drivers, when they're racing in their race cars, do have a weather radar available to them while they're racing, and it does give you an idea how much moisture is coming, and it doesn't tell you exactly when it's going to hit, but it gives you a rough idea if you're watching it. So this is exactly a prime example of a driver being aware that the weather is moving in and just making a call at the very right time. And I think, really, at the end of the day, Boo, that really worked out for you, because if you would have had to make the additional stop beyond that point, I think that you might have ended up in a very similar position that poor Hair Raiser ended up in, making a 4-stop race essentially. And at the end of the day, I think that really cost Hair Raiser his race today. So that's just an example of what these drivers really do have to deal with on a race-to-race basis. But again, just great patience and thinking about kind of all the things that can happen there. And again, a really solid second place finish. So I guess moving to Barcelona, what's your thought process now? You've seen what the competition is on the track. You're seeing what cars are really strong against your car, maybe what strongs are a little bit weaker. How do you process the information now moving forward into round 2 in a couple of weeks?
It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest. It's straight after the race. I think I was telling the guys when we've been practicing that I'm always aiming to go 2 seconds faster, and I think I'm going to need it if I'm to be competitive against Sick. I know we've practiced before in, I can't remember what cars, but he was up the road. He was like a second faster than me in earlier lobbies a few weeks ago. So yeah, it's just going to be practice, try and go that much faster. Whatever I think I'm going to do, whatever I think my best lap is, I think it's going to have to be 2 seconds faster on top of that. And that's going to have to be the target going forward for the rest of the season as well. So not just for 2 weeks' time, but for the whole season.
And there we go. And again, Bufu Shidar always seems to have an answer for every question I throw at him. This man's amazing. I love it. I love talking to him. But it was a really solid race. And I mean, that car, the Ferrari, really seemed to handle the rain pretty well. Is that the case for that car?
Yeah, definitely. It's tends towards understeer, which is handy, apart from the low speed stuff, which we all know about, like the hairpins with the mid and rear engine cars where they step out. But definitely a good car. I know it from Gran Turismo Sport, and I know the suspension model and the tire model is different from Sport to 7. But when Hare was running this car, I just couldn't keep up with him out of the slow corners in the wet. He had just that much more traction when I was running the 86. So hopefully a few more wet races. I'm going to have to practice them as well in the coming weeks, just in case we do have a full wet race and I can take advantage of the car's rear traction.
Absolutely, and I mean, really well said. Again, a great race start for your season. Again, trying to chase that 3 in a row. So it's going to be a tough season for you here, Bufu Shidara. But target is definitely still on the back of that Ferrari for sure. So shout outs and thank yous, my man.
All the guys, congratulations to Sick, well done to Pig, all the drivers, you guys, the commentators, our new sponsors in Apex as well, of course. And massive actually shout out to Petrol. He had a great race to finish a solid 4th. I know he probably wanted to have finished on the podium, but honestly, he did. I don't know what strategy he pulled out, but that was brilliant.
Absolutely, and we did make mention of that throughout the stream, that he did a really great job with that Nissan Silvia today. That car is definitely not as suited for this racetrack because of the high-speed nature, but man, he made that car look fantastic around this track today. You're not wrong, so great shout-out for sure. And just congratulations on a great start to your season again, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you more in the future. So good luck. Enjoy your second place finish here today, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks' time.
Thank you very much. Hopefully see you quite regularly.
All right, cheers. We love that. Love that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we go. 2 great podium interviews, as always. These guys always just have the answers. I love it. That's why we love asking the tough questions, because these guys, they find the answers. So we're going to move to the winner here, and it was a pretty decisive win here from Sikkim here today. He looked very strong. And of course, this is a racer's racetrack, Suzuka, and the BMW is a racer's race car. So I think that the combination was fairly well suited as well. I know the BMW M4 fairly well. It's one of the cars I do tend to drive in the Group 4 series, so I know what his tendencies are. So I think Sikkim did a fantastic job at really maintaining just an above average pace compared to the rest of the field. And at the end of the day, I mean, it brings him home with a very strong first place finish here to start the season. So first of all, congratulations, mate. How's it feel?
It feels great. I've had a great race car. It was built by the team that I'm affiliated for, and we came out here to win today. There were a few surprises. One of them being the rain, and then the other one being a wall that I hit. But other than that, I was able to stay in the lead and win the race.
Absolutely, and I mean, right off the bat there, unfortunately for me, we had a little bit of a glitch going into the race starts on the spectator mode, so we didn't quite see the race start, but it did look like that Bufu Shidara got a really good launch on you, and then very, very quickly you responded. It was like, no, I'm going to take my P1 back. Was that what was on the thought process at the start of that race? You wanted to get away very early on in the lead and just kind of try to control the pace of the race from there?
Yeah, because I figured the rain would throw people off since the track was still at that point to where it's about to be good enough to race on, but you're still going to be sliding around. You're going to have to slow down a bit more. But he got a better start because in that Ferrari, it's a nice accelerating car and it's naturally aspirated, as in with the BMW that has a turbo. It doesn't really get a good start unless you just plant the throttle with no traction control. Other than that, yeah, he was really slow on the inside of the first corner, so I just took what I knew about racing side by side and just applied it there, and I got back ahead.
Absolutely, it was definitely a spirited battle, but at the end of the day, I think the BMW just had the pull on that Ferrari coming down the straight line there, and that was, of course, allowed you to slot up in front, and then from there you just worked on that gap, and it was a pretty good one. And then the rain hit, and of course we've seen yourself and the top 4 guys not opt to go into pit lane, just tough it out with the racing tires. And we definitely seen some struggles there. So what was it like when that rain first hit? 'Cause, I mean, it didn't come down and just sprinkle and let you guys settle into the track conditions. It came down hard, quick, and then it was gone. So talk us through that point in the race.
Yeah, so I was checking my radar and I saw 2 sides. I saw like just a kind of AI generated side of the rain, and then I saw like a more realistic version of the rain, which is more torrential. And luckily for me, the rain that was on the right side was just the more AI generated rain that just went away after a lap. That's because I really didn't know what to do. So I just opted to stay out because I figured it moved at least like 5 to 10 miles a lap, which is basically just like it was a whole block of rain. So if I just stayed out, it would have been fine.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that did end up being the case. Of course, you did lose the lead there to Petrolhead and that Nissan Silvia for a large portion of the final part of the race, but he wasn't able, of course, to stretch the fuel and tires out that he had on that car to continue to stay out on track, and ultimately allowing you to retain that race lead. And then from there, it was maintain and don't make the big mistake, and a very well done race win for you. You had some fans up in the house here cheering you on as well. So did you know the fans were going to be here watching today?
Yeah, I sent them a little link to watch, and a few of them said they would hop on to see. I know they
Absolutely.
had a good show watching when the rain hit.
Oh,
That's for
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. It definitely got me excited. I kind of had an idea that there was a very good chance it was going to rain based off some practicing that I, of course, in lobbies I was in throughout the week. So I had an idea that this was going to come, but first race of the season, and Mother Nature has already put these drivers to the test. So we still got 11 more races left in this series, ladies and gentlemen, and many of these tracks can potentially produce rain. So definitely an extra factor now for these drivers to think about as they progress in through the season. So now we know that it's Barcelona with no chicane coming into round 2 on January 28th in 2 weeks' time. How do you prepare for that now, knowing that weather could definitely change on really on the tip of a dollar? It just went, it changed, you know. So how do you prepare for that? Do you set up purpose rain and practice in it just to make sure that you've got those lines down?
No, I always just practice in just clear weather. I prepare for the rain as it comes because, like I said, it's gonna be either realistic or it's gonna be AI generated.
Well, and knowing the game and how the game works and how the models work definitely is an advantage as a race car driver. So you seem to be dialed in there as well. So something a little extra for your competitors to be thinking about apparently here, as this man seems to have the answer in the plan. But you looked really good out there. I mean, I don't think you got the fastest lap at the end of the race, but you definitely held that for the majority of the race as well. So your pace is definitely there. Nobody has been able to beat Bufu Shidara in quite a few races. You're the first one in some time in these big championships, so that's definitely something to hold your head high about, as he is trying to three-peat. So knowing that, I mean, he was there, he was still trying to put the pressure on you. Is he your biggest competition right now moving into next week?
Um, I mean, for now, I could say yes. Definitely for sure. It's him and it's Apex Pigeons, basically the two runner-ups. Which props to them. They really tried their hardest, and I feel like for this season, I'm probably going to push them to their limits and make them go further than they have before. And I hope that is the case because then there'll be some more fun racing. Another eye that I wanted to look at was also Oliver, because I know in the little BMW street race that we had last week, he was pretty quick as well.
Absolutely, and he is a very quick driver. Now, again, the McLaren was just a bad track for that car due to the lack of top end speed in that car. I mean, obviously through the technical sectors, that car is very strong, but I just think it was just not the ideal track for his particular car here today. We definitely know he's quick, so I think when we start finding tracks that are a little more suited for these turning cars as opposed to these power cars, I think that's when we start seeing drivers like Smalley really shine and be really putting some serious pressure on the top guys. So it was a great call out there by Sikkim. I mean, just anything you want to add to your race today?
No, not really. I just want to thank the team that I'm affiliated for and for them helping me set up the car and everything. I also want to thank all the others for giving me a great race. I know we've had like wonderful races over the couple past months since I've joined this league, and I really like this how very casual, semi-competitive it is. It's very fun to race alongside these guys.
Absolutely, and again, great racing out there today. I do know for a fact that rain didn't step in and throw a wrench in the program. I think we could have seen some really good 3, 4, 5-way battling for those podium positions at the end of the race today. So we'll see if Mother Nature cooperates at Barcelona in 2 weeks' time and gives these guys a nice optimal racetrack to race on, and we can really see what these guys can do when they're in a group of a pack of cars racing for championships. But it's going to be a fun season. A great win from you today, and you're definitely on that list right now of guys to be looking out for in the championship series. You showed great consistency, great pace, and you just made a couple of small mistakes there. Other than that, this is definitely a quick driver. So congratulations on the first one of the season, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time we're going to be talking to you here this season either. So great racing. Welcome on your big championship debut, and go back with the team and celebrate back at the clubhouse, my man. Appreciate your time.
All right. I hope to see you again as well. Let's make it swift.
Absolutely. Cheers, and again, thank you to all the drivers for taking their time, and congratulations, and well, we'll see you next week in BMWs. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it. Great interviews by the drivers, as always. I love talking to these guys. They always have great things to say. So let's recap our podium positions. It does come down to a Apex Pigeons third place finish here. Bufu Shidara, defending champion, coming into the season in second place, and new driver in the series, Sikkim, coming in with a very dominant first place finish here in that BMW M4. So thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. It was a lot of fun. And Barcelona in 2 weeks' time. So next week we will have round 2 of our BMW E30 series, which is a fun little mini series that happens in between the off weeks of the big championship. So we will be broadcasting that here on GT45 Gaming and the GTRC YouTube live to you guys next weekend as well. And then we return for our GT4 series on the 28th of January for our Pro and Pro-Am divisions at Barcelona. So I hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast tonight. Don't forget to like and share this out one time for us, please. It's a free thing you can do to help us grow. And if you love the content, you want to see more racing like this, hit that follow or that sub over on YouTube. Show the love. It's an extra free way to support the page on a higher level, and we appreciate all the support to all our new followers here at GT45 Gaming tonight. You're legends. We appreciate all of you so very much. You're the reason why we continue to try and bring the best broadcasts on a daily basis that we can for everybody. So thank you so much. Welcome to the winners community. And I mean, what else can we say? It has been an absolutely fantastic day of racing. But at the end of the day, Suzuka and Mother Nature prevail dominant here, and they really separated this racing pack today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Spain in 2 weeks' time. But these guys got plenty of time to get these cars locked in, get that testing and tuning done, and figure out what their strategy for round 2 is going to be. Thank you so much for being here. Again, presented by the Gran Turismo Racing community, ladies and gentlemen, the GTRC. And I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. These events are proudly sponsored by Apex Racing Team and GT45 Gaming. And all our graphics seen on stream here today provided by High Pre Graphics. He's a legend. They looked amazing. I loved them. I hope everybody else enjoyed the visuals as well. We have more fun stuff coming for you in the future. And stay tuned next week for the BMW E30 series at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 p.m. UK time, ladies and gentlemen, for a lovely little race with some road cars. Most importantly, stay winning because you matter. Thank you for all your support. We appreciate every single one of you, and we will see you all next week.